listening to Retro Station, a retro game podcast. Dear God, this game has menus deep enough to make the Cheesecake Factory blush.
Hi everybody, welcome to Retro Station, a retro game podcast. I'm David.
I'm Hilary.
And I'm Steven.
And today we're going to be talking about Dragon Force for the Sega Saturn. Before we get to that, and actually before we get to even what we've been doing lately, I have a question for you two. And it's about translation. I think we've probably all seen bad translation in games where, like a spoony bard and a winner is you, and weird grammar or weird spelling or just odd word choices.
All your base
are belong to us, all that. But that's not really what I'm talking about in this case. I'm talking about something that Working Designs, who published this game, is especially known for. So they didn't design the games. They usually just brought them over from Japan, did the translation, all that sort of thing.
The design was in their name?
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
They designed the translation? Is that a thing? I don't know. But they were known for a couple things. One, they would often make the games somewhat harder than they were in Japan. I haven't noticed most of their games being absurdly hard, but that is apparently a thing. But then it's the translation that they're known for. They were known to add a lot of weird, quirky humor into the games that wasn't there originally. Or if someone was a comedy character in the Japanese version, they would amplify that to some degree. And you guys may or may not have noticed, there's some pop culture references in Dragon Force, and they did that in a lot of their games. Granted, this is pop culture from 1996, so I'm sure we'll bring it up later if you guys saw it. I know there's a couple I have in mind, but they would add things like that. There have been times where they've been known to actually really change the feel of a character. For instance, a character might have been a fairly serious character in the Japanese version, but when it came to the US through Working Designs, that character now said a lot more funny things, so it really would alter the personality to some degree. Now, they didn't make it so the story didn't make sense, they didn't make it so the characters didn't work together or was completely jumping back and forth in tone to a ridiculous degree. It made sense.
So they didn't do Simon's Quest.
Yes. And the words they said actually made sense, which is good. It just, they very much altered it. And some people don't like that because of the fact that they want the actual, for real translation. They want to have the same experience playing some of these games that people in Japan, when they first got those games, would have had. Other companies do this too, but Working Designs is especially known for really changing things up. And I was curious how you guys feel about that. Do you think that games should, when they come from Japan, should stay as close as possible to the original meaning, the original text? Or do you think that you prefer it to change to suit Western audiences better, or at least that is the idea behind it, whether or not it's successful or not?
I would never know.
That's fair. Yeah.
It's, who knows, most people aren't gonna know the difference. I'm okay with them changing it because there's stuff that, whether it's from Japan or some other region, there's stuff that makes sense in that region that doesn't work in our region, or vice versa. There's stuff that makes sense in our region but not in other people's regions. So it makes sense to me to change it so that it makes a little bit more sense or fits in more with the region that it's being developed for.
I mean, to be fair though, most of the games I play are story-based RPG type games. So I don't understand why there should be pop culture references, because most of the references should be to the game itself. So it wouldn't make sense whether it was westernized or not. Now that you mention this, and we'll probably talk about it more later, but I did feel like there were some references in this game that sounded familiar.
Right.
But because I wasn't looking out for them, was
Yeah.
Right.
But there was some weird banter between the people.
Yeah. There was one that I saw a couple times that if you were watching Saturday Night Live in this era, you would have recognized, because you can go and talk to your, we're going to get into the gameplay later, but one of the generals you talk to says, I wish I could do more for the leader, but and I don't feel like I can, but that's okay because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. that's from a Saturday Night Live skit, 100%. I don't remember what that skill's called or anything, but that is like directly taken from that. Mm-hmm. So there's weird stuff like that. It's not completely loaded with them, but they're here and there. I'm kind of in line with you guys because I don't know if it's still the case. I know for a while in Japan, like, wordplay was a really big, like, they use that a lot in their humor. So there are things where the wordplay makes sense because these two words in Japanese sound similar to each other, but if you directly translate to the U.S., they do not do that anymore. I've definitely seen that in games where I'm like, I think they're trying to do something funny here, but it does not compute at all. So I don't mind when they change things because, one, I don't really usually know what I'm missing out on unless I look it up. And also, there's not really a guarantee that the original translation would be more enjoyable than the Western one, or vice versa. Like, I would have no idea. So as long as what I'm playing is enjoyable, like, I don't care. But if you look up some of these games, especially by working designs, on like ROM hacks or translations, there will be some labeled unworking designs, and they will have made the translation much more, straightforward, and they will have scaled back whatever difficulty working design scaled up. So there are definitely a contingent of people out there that dislike working designs actively just because they do not like these changes. But I was just curious where you guys stood on it because I think it's kind of a interesting thing.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like I said, I wouldn't know unless I was watching something or read something about the translation or told by someone, because I don't speak other languages,
right? Or
read other languages really, or at least languages that are mainly for making games. So I wouldn't know. I mean, I guess if it made sense and it was then I would probably figure out that they edited some of the translation.
Yeah, like if there's a pop culture reference that's like very Americanized, then it's like, okay, yeah, they obviously made some changes there, but
I mean, they got their finger on the pulse. They know stuff that's going on.
Yeah, but they would probably use like if they're referencing a celebrity, they're probably a lot more likely to do something pop culture in their area. Sure. I mean, there's some stars that cross borders, but like they back in the 90s, like if they're referencing a boy band, it'd probably be more like a K-pop over there versus like Backstreet Boys or NSYNC or something like that.
Right.
Like a boy band over here.
Yeah, the Urkel jokes or whatever probably flew right over their head if they ever saw them. But I've never, even when I read like, oh, this is what they changed, I've never been like, damn it, why did we miss out on that? I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the one I played, so if I liked it, cool. Whatever. But I was just curious. Some people feel very strongly about this, and I didn't figure you two would be in that crowd, but I wasn't really sure.
Were they... So they Americanized it, but was it similar? Was it pop culture references in Japan?
Don't know for sure.
Or did I miss out on like actual lore background?
No, not lore. I think what they often did was they made certain characters say things that were silly that were just not in the original. So it was more, usually, I'm sure this is not always the case, it would tend to be a little bit more straight-laced over there, whereas over here they would add lines of goofy stuff. In this particular game, like there's a general named Lane who was comic relief in the Dragon Force one, but in this one she's like amped up. Like she's way goofier in this one than she was there. So they just kind of altered things to make it overall a little bit sillier, but they weren't like, let's forget about this love story, at least that I know of. They weren't like, let's forget about this love story and have him make a fart joke instead. You know what I mean? Although that would be funny. But
I mean, I did feel like, I don't know, if we were in the heat of war, these lines didn't make sense.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Unless they have really dark, weird senses of humor. I mean, maybe everyone's doing drugs. We don't know. Anything's possible. Anyway, I was just curious. Some people feel strongly, and I don't. But, there it is. Okay, with that out of the way, what were you guys up to this week? Hilary?
So, because of my finger, it's been kind of hard for me to do a lot of physical stuff around, so I actually had more time to play some games. So, I played some more Pokemon Fire Red. Last week's game made me want to play Professor Layton, so I did play a little bit of the first game, Professor Layton and the Curious Village, I believe is the full name. And then while I was playing this week's game, it reminded me of some other games from this era, and so I wanted to kind of try them out to kind of see a little bit of a comparison. So I didn't get deep into the games, but I did play through so that I could get through like the first battles to kind of compare them. And those games were Final Fantasy Tactics, Ogre Battle for the Super Nintendo, and Ogre Battle 64.
Right on. What do you see?
I didn't do much of gaming this week at all. I went to jiu-jitsu on Monday, and I got injured.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I pulled something or tore something in my back.
Oh, no. Shit.
So that wasn't great. And then I had a dentist appointment on Monday as well. And then I had a doctor's appointment on Wednesday. And then I took the kids to the dentist on Friday.
God dang.
And then, politics was Wednesday and Thursday. And that was a downward spiral. And yeah, so I played this game.
We should have played that, man. I didn't know you were having this much of a disastrous week, man. God damn.
Yeah, so I played a little bit of this game, and we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I didn't really feel up to playing video games at all.
That's how you know you're in bad shape.
Yeah, but I did watch, and we'll get to it when we get to the news. I watched the Nintendo Direct, and I thought about games. like I am excited for when the Tactics comes out, the new one. So I'm ready to play that when it comes out. And then this game made me think of another game that I might pick up. So we'll see.
Oh, very cool. Good. I'm sorry you're going through all that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just wow.
Oh, and yesterday I had the place that I go for jiu-jitsu. They had a grand opening, so they had like special instructors come in, and they had a big potluck and stuff. So
that's nice.
Yeah.
Now, so the injury happened in jiu-jitsu, right? Was it like in a, I don't know the right terminology here, but like a sparring kind of match thing, or?
Yeah. So it was. They call it either sparring or rolling.
Okay.
And I think what I did, if I had to pinpoint to one thing, so I'm almost 40. Yeah. I was going up against a 17-year-old who is not nearly my weight size, but is up there, like 180 something. We're hand fighting, and I passed his hands, and I got him in a bear hug, and I lifted him and I threw him to the ground. All back, no knees lift. You know, so there's probably that if I had to pinpoint something.
Okay.
But I mean, you're doing so much twisting, turning, and stuff like that it could have been much of anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Or a combination of stuff where it's like that lift started it, and then other things.
Yeah. So I skipped Tuesday, and then I just watched on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, I participated in the instruction, but not the rolling. And then Friday, we didn't have class in preparation for the main thing. And man, the main thing though, normally there's about like, I don't know. I've been there on days where it was just me and another guy plus the coach. And then I've been there on days where there's like maybe 10 people. There was at least like 50 people, and it was wild because when we were doing the instruction, I thought surely we're just gonna watch the instruction, we're not gonna do it, because they have one of the biggest mats in the area, but it was pretty crowded, and it was fun. I got to learn with a black belt, so he was very helpful in learning the move. And then afterwards we ate tons of food, and then either I was feeling a little better or the ibuprofen was kicking in, and I rolled a couple times, and I'm regretting it now. But it was fun.
I think it's awesome you're doing that. So I'm like 8 years older than you. I'm less afraid of like someone kicking me or hitting me or whatever than I am of me doing a movement and like destroying myself like that.
Well, the good news is there are no striking in jiu-jitsu. Okay. It's all grapple. So it would be most similar to like wrestling in school, but instead of pinning the person on their back, you're trying to submit, choke,
Okay.
and stuff like that. And they teach you, like, right off, like, this is how you would break someone's arm, but this is where you should tap so you don't get hurt, right? So it's pretty safe unless, you injure yourself by trying to lift someone. So, I have gotten kneed in the head, but that was completely by accident.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that stuff's going to happen when you're tumbling around with people.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, I hope you keep feeling better anyway. I played a few games this week, and I didn't realize till kind of the end of the week here that every single one of them was an IP game. I didn't do that on purpose, but it's how it went. So I'll start for the least modern to the most. Have you guys seen the movie Gremlins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They make a video game about it?
Oh, they're not making one. Well, maybe they are, but they made one. They made one for the Atari 2600. And I remember wanting this game really bad when I was a kid because it was a Gremlins game, and it was on a system that I had, and I knew nothing at all about how it played. It was a Gremlins game, so I had to have it. And
A lot of IP games are.
yeah, horrible. I mean, I was exactly the target audience. Like, they made this movie and people like it, so here you go. So this doesn't follow the movie extremely well, but I would like them to make the movie that this game followed because it's great. So there's two basic types of stages. So the first one, you're Billy, the guy from the movie, and you're down kind of towards the bottom of the screen. Now, beneath you, but presumably, I guess probably really behind you, there is a row of hamburgers on the ground, okay? In the background, there's a house, and what's going to happen is the Mogwai, which is what Gizmo was, the little cute version, they're going to run across the roof and then fall down, and they're going to keep doing that, and you have to catch them, because if they hit the ground, they'll run to a burger and turn into a gremlin cocoon thing.
It's kind of like Lemmings.
Like, it kind of, there was a game called Kaboom on Atari that I think was similar. There was also an infamous adult Atari 2600 game that I'm not going to get into that played similar to that.
Well, now I'm curious.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you off camera. I mean, I'm willing to cuss, but there's certain areas I'm just not going to go into detail.
Gotcha.
So you either have to keep going until the game stops you because you've caught enough of them, in which case all the hamburgers will turn into cocoons anyway, or they'll turn into cocoons. And then you go to the second type of level. And this one, you're down at the bottom of the screen. There's some kind of odd gray expanse in front of you. I don't know if it's a street or if it's a swamp. I have no idea. And the cocoons are now at the top. And they will turn into a gremlin. The gremlin will come running down, and you have to shoot them. Because remember Billy just shooting the hell out of all the gremlins in the movie. I don't think that happened. And they'll just come running down, and you have to shoot them before they get to the bottom, because if they get to the bottom, they run sideways at you and kill you, because you can't shoot sideways. You can only shoot forward. After a couple times you've done that level, there's puddles going across, and now when the gremlins come across it, they'll duplicate into two. So now you have two of them coming down for every cocoon there is. And it just gets faster and faster until you die. Like the one with the Mogwai jumping off the roof gets to the point pretty quick where it's like, I don't even know why I'm trying, because they're coming so fast. Like, I literally cannot move that fast to catch this one and then catch that one. Like, it's not designed to be fair anymore. It's just like, get as many points as you can, and then we're going to take you to the shooty level. That's it. But it was all right. Like, I think if I would have gotten it as a kid, at the age where I had an Atari, I probably would have been like, this is cool, it's Gremlins. It's okay. It's okay. For an Atari game, I mean, they're only so deep. It's fine. Then, for the original Nintendo, I played Nightmare on Elm Street from good old LJN. I heard this was better than Friday the 13th. I know it's a very high bar.
It wasn't on the list.
It wasn't on the list.
It must have been better.
It was, yeah. It probably was. It plays more like a fairly traditional platformer. I think there's more you have to do that I'm not... Like, you can go into houses, and then there's like a kind of another platforming level, but when you're outside, there's like snakes and bats or birds or something coming at you, and you just kind of have to avoid them. It's not too hard, but if you get hurt, I think it's if you get hurt enough, apparently, enough snake bites or bats flying into the face will make you just get tired and you fall asleep. And then it becomes like Nightmare World, and then everything is much worse.
Snakes coming at you wasn't Nightmare World?
No, that was great. That's normal Elm Street, man. It's just that kind of, I don't know where the hell this street is, but yeah. And so, like, that happened to me when I was in a house, and suddenly, like, there was a spider-looking things with Freddy heads on them, and they were just going back and forth. And it was fine, except for that the jumping in this is so weird and floaty and imprecise. Like, there is a a jump I had to make where there's a platform moving up and down, right? And all I have to do is jump on that and then jump off of that to another platform. It's a kind of jump I've done in I don't know how many platform games, like tons of them. I died 3 times trying to jump on that goddamn moving platform because I could not figure out how to make myself land correctly on it. So the physics in this game are, maybe you get used to them, but they're super wacky. So I didn't play it for a super long time. But there you go. Probably better than Friday the 13th. More of a traditional kind of game, at least, than Friday the 13th, I guess. Then I played WWE 2K25 because I hadn't played in a while. I'd had it on a different hard drive, and when I loaded it to a new hard drive, it didn't have the... I put in custom music, which you could only really do on PC because you have to go in through files and change things. Like back in the old Xbox days where you could load songs onto the Xbox hard drive, you could just point the game to it and say, this is the entrance music for this person, and it would play it. Now you have to do a bunch of crazy stuff, and only on the PC version, as far as I know. So I had to change all that, and then I wanted to like update some of the factions and whatnot to the extent that I could, and I had been meaning to shrink down the roster, so I got rid of some of the people who'd been actually fired in WWE recently that I don't care that much about, just to tidy it up. So I did that, and I played a little bit, and it's been fun. I don't remember the controls super well, so I don't remember to do anything really exciting anymore. Like I know like the basic stuff, and I have to remember how to do the rest, but it's been pretty cool. The thing I like about that game is you can really adjust the difficulty a lot. Like it has the easy, medium, hard, but then you can go like, what are the % chances of someone kicking out or submitting or any number of things. Like there's sliders for every single thing pretty much that can happen in the game, so you can adjust the difficulty to your liking. And I have it at a spot now where I don't feel like I win all the time or lose all the time. I feel like every match is kind of a challenge, so it's good. I like it, so I'm gonna keep trying to do that. My goal is in one of these games to make it through the whole like universe season from the start all the way to WrestleMania, and I've never actually done it. I always kind of give up at some point and stop doing it, but I'm trying to go through every week and get there. So we'll see. It was fun. Okay, so do either of you have any news?
I don't know, but you brought up an interesting question in my mind.
Okay.
I'm curious, like, when games became IP because they were based off of movies, and when the switch happened where games became IP because they were, like, I don't know, like, we consider Mario an IP,
Yes.
right? Mm-hmm. But that was originally a video game, and then it became an IP because of the video game.
Right.
But we look at a lot of IP games for, like, the NES and that kind of era, and we call them IP games because they were based off of movies.
Right.
And now there's movies based off of games.
That's getting complicated.
And then there were IPs that were because of like comics and stuff like that eventually became movies and then games and then you know what I mean?
It gets
like
complicated.
it's curious like when that
shift happened.
Yeah.
I feel like it's still kind of a newish thing, at least compared to like video games. There's a few exceptions in the 80s, but I think the 90s is when it started to really switch over. So I think like for a lot of them, like once they start making like cartoons out of them and so that, I think that's kind of when it started shifting.
Mario TV show. That was wild.
My hope is that, early days, you could not always, you could almost guarantee that a movie based on a game based on a movie was going to be pretty bad. Like, almost. There was exceptions, right? But usually so. And you get to the day where you can still have that, but more often you have a decent chance of them being good. And I feel like movies might have sort of been, might be following the same path, because for a long time, any movie based on a video game was straight garbage. And now you're starting to see things, whether it's movies or shows based on games that are really pretty good. Like Last of Us is really good. I've not seen it, but I know some people like the Twisted Metal series, and those are shows, not movies. But, I'm hoping that that's kind of coming into maturity too, where they're like, okay, we actually need to put some thought behind these and not just slap freaking House of the Dead on it and call it a movie that anyone will watch.
Yeah, because they had Resident Evil, the movie, that I felt like the games were much better. They had, like, the Final Fantasy movie. It didn't resemble Final Fantasy at all. in like, because like, what was it, like the spirit something?
Spirits Within or something?
Yeah.
That was never a thing,
Yeah.
if I recall, in any of the Final Fantasy games that I played.
They might have had a character.
I thought it was a decent movie. But
It was a decent movie, but
sense.
it just wasn't connected to Final Fantasy at all, really.
Yeah. Although I guess that I never saw it. I barely even knew that it came out when it did. But I guess the Warcraft movie wasn't super good. Did you either of you see
There was
that?
a movie?
There was a movie.
Oh.
And I remember thinking, oh, well, that sounds cool. And I think I saw a preview and I thought, oh, that looks pretty neat. And then it came out and apparently it was not. It's not good to watch. So
Mario movie was okay. Oh, and we'll get to that. But what are the other ones? Like the Minecraft movie?
yeah, there's a particular director named Uwe Boll who made a lot of just real garbage ones. He made the House of the Dead movie, and weirdly he gets okay actors.
House of the Dead, like a weird arcade shooter.
It's a light gun shooter.
Yeah.
And what's funny, for some of the effects, he literally put in video from the game. Like,
That's awesome.
And we're talking Sega Saturn polygons, not today polygons. Like blocky polygons. But he somehow gets money because he gets actors that are, I mean, I don't know if they were doing great at the time, but they weren't nothing actors. Like, he got like Tara Reid and Christian Slater and like, but he did that. He did a couple Blood Rain movies. I don't remember. He did all kinds of, but they're all just apparently just poop. Like, they're really bad.
If I recall, the Sonic movies are very popular.
those are
The
good.
Sonic cartoons were good.
Some were, some weren't.
Yeah.
But there's been
There's
a
been
lot.
several of
There's
them.
been a lot,
Yeah.
so.
But,
Well, it's interesting.
yeah.
I just thought of it like because especially when we did the NES episode, and then
Right.
when you were just talking about.
No, when you talked about the Mario movie, are you talking about the computer one, or are you talking about like the 90s live action one?
Well, there was only one good one.
I know, but you're kind of you mentioned that as you were mentioning bad
And that
movies,
was
and then you were
the
kind
one
of
with John Leguizamo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not seen that.
And I don't forgot who played Mario, but yeah, that one was hilarious. Like the Goombas, like someone had to tell me like later that those were Goombas.
Yeah.
Like they were not mushrooms.
Out of nightmares. They're disturbing.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, good times.
I enjoyed that movie when it came out.
Did you?
yeah. Back then,
never saw it.
it was enjoyable. Like it's enjoyable, but I was like, how is this Mario? There's a couple of things where I'm like, huh?
I think I didn't see the first Silent Hill movie was good. I thought Street Fighter was a movie you could watch.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat's a movie you can watch.
Yeah, that's true. There's several Mortal Kombat movies that you can watch.
Yeah.
That's great. I heard the more recent one was okay.
I do
don't know.
love, now that we're pointing them out, that the ability to make a video game off a movie very much translates the ability to make a movie off of the video game.
Yeah.
Like, nobody did a good job.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, I think so many of them go in with the idea that it's attempt to cash in on a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of, like, I think
Is that one of our categories? Like, movie-based?
we have
IP,
IPs.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, we'll get there someday, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
'Cause there are good ones. I thought
Yeah,
Ninja
there are.
Turtles was
Yeah.
good as both movies and video games.
Yeah.
Like, it was a thing before it was a video game.
Yeah.
So.
Agreed. Yeah, they're out there, but it's for a while you had to wait through a lot of garbage to find the good ones.
Sorry. That was a tangent.
So you got, either you want to start news stuff? Do you have any news, Hilary?
No, like I will probably just jump into the Nintendo Direct because
that's the only news that I recall.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a couple things, but you go first.
Oh, well, no, we can save the Nintendo
Yeah.
Direct. You go.
Okay. I wasn't going to keep talking about this game, but I will just do a quick little blurb. Bloodlines 2. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 coming to PC and I think the other systems. So I saw a YouTuber who goes by the name of Mug Thief who got a chance to play it for, I forget if he said an hour or an hour and a half. He played it with one of the people from the company who made it. Good news. It sounds like he had fun playing it. That's great. Bad news. Bloodlines 1 is an action RPG. Bloodlines 2 is an action. It plays apparently more like BioShock or Prey, I think you said, or Dishonored. it doesn't seem to have the RPG elements. So if you're going to Bloodlines 2 thinking, aha, I'm getting fancier, prettier Bloodlines 1, which you might think because of the 2, that is not the case. You are getting a, hopefully, it sounds like, pretty cool action sort of story, first-person shooter-ish vampire, I don't know if it's shooter, but first-person melee vampire power game. And yeah, so some people are going to be real mad. I don't know why they didn't just change it to call it like vampire bloodletting or vampire, there's a lot of sucking. Or what, something vampire, something vampire, but not Bloodlines 2. They could have just changed the name and been like, this is a different playing game, and I don't think people would get it and be disappointed. Now, people who don't pay attention to that kind of information are going to buy it and be like, where's all my RPG elements? Not here. So, kind of a bummer. I'm willing to go. I mean, I like Bioshock-type games, so if it's good and it's in the Vampire the Masquerade world, which it is, I'm still interested. I think this company's making a lot of mistakes. I hope the game itself does well and is good. Because if it is good and it does well, we will probably get later on some Vampire the Masquerade RPGs on the PC, because it will become a desirable property. But if it absolutely sucks and it's on a bad footing right now because of people being mad at them, that might hurt that IP for a long time in games, I think. So, there you are. Now you know. Well, at least as far as what I know. It's, again, I didn't play it, so. Before we get to the happy Nintendo, there's some bad Nintendo. Bad Nintendo. So.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of things when we get to the Nintendo Direct I'm excited about. I think Nintendo puts out awesome games, awesome products. Some I like more than others, of course. But in general, they've brought a lot of happiness to a lot of people. I'm going to keep buying Nintendo things, I'm sure. There's a lot of things that they're making and planning that I am really looking forward to. That being said, and I'm pretty sure I've said it on the channel before, Nintendo is a shit company. They're really not consumer folk. They're not good to the consumer.
Oh, there goes all our preview codes.
Sorry. Yeah. So here's what they've done. Is they have somehow required a patent that other patent lawyers are calling like an embarrassment to the patent system. They have patented the game mechanic of summoning something from an object to fight for you. You might recognize this as a mechanic that's been in, I don't know, thousands of games other than Pokemon.
Does Digimon do that?
You were saying that they kind of just follow along, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the same in the games, though, or not.
What is it, Pal World, that does the...
This is where it came from.
Because they originally had a ball, and I thought Nintendo was trying to argue that you can't summon things from a ball. Yeah. So they made it like a disc or something, and then now they're just saying you can't summon an animal from anything, or...
This is literally Nintendo's mad at... I unfortunately don't know the design of Pal World because they thought the game was too similar, and now they've been reissuing and trying to get patents over and over and over again, changing things little by little until they finally got this one. Now, they may be on bad footing with this because there are published games before Pokemon that had this mechanic, which gives other companies some footing to challenge that patent if it comes down to it, and if they actually want to spend the money to do it instead of just changing their game. That's the problem. But Populous in 1989, that had it. Master of Monsters on the MSX, PC, 98, Genesis, and PlayStation had it. Shin Megami Tensei had a similar thing. Beyond Oasis / The Story of Thor on Genesis had it. Hexen Beyond Heretic had an item that you can summon things from. Bahamut Lagoon on the Super Famicom also did. And there's a bunch more. But here's where it's bad, or there's a few things. Just for this particular patent, Final Fantasy has summons. Now, granted, I don't know that they're always going to be summoning from a thing. They could just say, well, we're summoning it via magic powers. But if their vision had been to summon it from a thing, now they have to change it, and I just think that's stupid. I think Dark Souls has some kind of summoning thing to it. This is not an uncommon thing in games. And that sucks. And you have to realize, too, that I would think, and I'm not a lawyer, let's say you want to get Beyond Oasis, which is on the Genesis, through legal means. Like, let's say it's on a collection of some sort. Well, can they sell that now? Because now Nintendo can say, well, we have a patent on that. Can they sell that game without getting Nintendo's permission? I honestly don't know. It worries me as far as game preservation goes. Now, granted, there are ways that are not the legal ways to play that game just fine, but sucks.
I feel like a patent, and I don't know how patents work.
I don't either. I'm not a lawyer, so yeah.
But I feel like it would prevent future things. I don't know that it could like retroactively happen because
they obviously can't say erase this game from history. I just worry that I don't know when it comes to like, well, we are now selling this game. We're making money off of this thing that has what's in your patent. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Now, does the Nintendo have this, or was it the Pokemon company?
Nintendo made the patent.
Oh, okay.
So you were gonna say something.
Yeah.
You have some patent experience.
Yeah,
I do.
my mom was actually a paralegal for a patent attorney for several years, so I actually know a little bit more about patents than typical. Still could be totally wrong about some of the stuff that I'm gonna say, but I at least have a little bit of knowledge. Typically, a patent, like, there's basically kind of almost a grandfather clause where anything that came before the patent is still in the clear. Doesn't mean that they can't still try and go after these people. Like, they could still go after other companies and say something, but the other companies could have some legal grounds and stand. But then you have all these fees to fight it. So it kind of depends on how much of a dick Nintendo is going to be over it. It also depends. A lot of times patents are very specific in wordings. So if they're saying you can't summon something from an item, there's a big difference than something from magic or like in Persona, like summoning from yourself.
Yeah.
So it depends on the actual phrasing of the patent.
Yeah.
Is going to make a big difference.
Now, what I'd heard, and again, I don't know. So is that it apparently was narrow enough to get the patent, although, again, a lot of patent lawyers are like, this should not have happened, but vague enough that they might still be able to fight things that you wouldn't think that they should.
Well, and again, it's a lot of times something like that. Like, I'm sure Nintendo's going to send out a lot of cease and desist based on citing this patent, but then depending on the company, like they might be able to easily fight it.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of whether they think the money and time is worth fighting it.
See, I'm not so much worried that, like, they could try to go after, say, Activision Blizzard, right? I'm not saying for a specific game, but if they wanted to, they could do that. But that company will probably be okay. It's these independent developers. I mean, that's what started this. They're going after a little independent developer that made Pal World. That concerns me. But then,
which Pal World has already patched the game,
right,
to appease or get around or something, a cease and desist letter already.
Well, I believe Nintendo is not appeased with them at the moment. But here's the other thing with this: is this having been now done, which they tried this too in the board game industry, and the judge was like, yeah, you can't patent a game mechanic. You can't, like, I can't go out and put out the exact same game. I can't put out, I'm just looking at my board game, Dwellings of Eldervale. I can't put out my own Dwellings of Eldervale and have the same mechanics. No, but I could take every single mechanic in that game and reskin it and put it out. I wouldn't do that because that's crappy, but I could. But now this changes things up for video games. So my question is now, what's to stop Capcom from going and putting a patent on 1-on-1 to up to 3-on-3 fight mechanic? I don't know, because they've been doing it forever. I mean, they could. And if that keeps happening, which we're talking about corporations who want to make money and want to make sure that they have the best or maybe even the only games that can do these certain things, this could really open the floodgates. Now, I'm getting into hypotheticals here, but I also don't see why these things wouldn't happen, unfortunately. You could start seeing entire mechanics pigeonholed into a company, which is going to limit everyone else from doing anything. And like I think you mentioned, they might not choose to go after anyone for doing those things, but is a company going to risk it? Like, are they going to put a bunch of money into designing and developing only to find out, oh, they're not going to let us do that now? I don't know.
Well, it's funny, too, because, like, I don't know. Pokemon's got a lot of criticism about their games lately. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that they're like scared of an independent game is hilarious.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is that it could be something where they get the patent and they go to these companies and go, okay, you can use this mechanic, but you have to pay us this royalty.
Right. So I have a suggestion for all the big video game industry execs who are watching this right now. Here's what you do, guys. And again, not a lawyer. You'll need to talk and go get your patents on, because this is probably going to happen anyway. People are going to start patenting weird shit that they shouldn't. Agree that you're going to do that, but also make an agreement that you will let each other use these things. You're going to let each other use the thing. And you make also an agreement that if an independent developer wants to use one-on-one fighting mechanic, whatever, they get to too. And make sure that the only company that you do not let do that is Nintendo, because they made this bed. I suggest Activision, who had jumping in Pitfall, patents jumping in video games. I think Namco, who made Pac-Man, should have a patent on eating things in games. Psygnosis, who made Wipeout, should patent futuristic hover racing in games. Atari, who made Adventure on the Atari 2600, should patent Metroidvanias, where you have to backtrack with items that you now have to open things that you could not before. TNESOF, who made fucking Hideline, should patent top-down action adventures. That's what they should do. They should all get together and systematically look at everything that's in every major Nintendo franchise and say, we patent that, because we did it. And then not let Nintendo use it without hefty fees, at least. That's what I think. Get together, say, Nintendo, you effed everybody. You effed possibly the entire industry. I don't know why I'm pulling back my cussing when I didn't before. I'm trying to be better than I was during my X-Men rant, okay? But they did this thing that has the potential to really goddamn wreck things. Get together and say, no, you don't get to do that. Until some kind of legal means can happen where something happens where people cannot do this anymore. I don't know what that would take. Maybe it can't be done. Work it out amongst yourselves and say, sorry, Nintendo, no jumping for Mario. Sorry, no racing for F-Zero. Sorry, no listen for Zelda. I don't know, whatever. Just take them apart. Sorry, I love Nintendo. I want them to keep making stuff, but they need to learn. No, they need to learn a lesson. They need to learn a lesson. They need to learn it now because they're dicks to these independent creators. They're dicks to content creators. They just swing their big Nintendo dick around and smack down everyone that they can that's in their radius. Teach them a lesson. For God's sakes. Together you are bigger. Maybe even separate, some of you are bigger. Teach them a lesson. So now let's hear what happened in Nintendo Direct. I'm really excited about some of the releases, guys. It looks like a lot of good stuff. It actually does. I am not anti-Nintendo games or Nintendo systems, and I know that's kind of hypocritical. I like the stuff they make. They're good, and I'm not saying anyone shouldn't buy them. I'm just saying they need to learn a lesson. So other companies get together, teach them the lesson, fix it. But in the meantime, let's play some of these games.
So I thought the Nintendo Direct. So I watched it. It was at like 6 a.m. on Friday, Pacific Standard Time, and I had woken up my son, and I had just put it on for him. And it was funny because, like, my wife and I are working. We work from home, and he's watching this before school. And I could hear him, like, from the other room, I want that! I want that! And,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So, he was excited.
That's good.
Me, I thought it was pretty mid as far as it goes. There was a lot of, just as an overview before we get into the stuff, there was a lot of old Nintendo games that they're bringing to the Switch.
Yeah.
There were some games that they had announced remasters, and then there were some games that were like, you've already been playing these for multiple years on other systems, and now you can play it on a Nintendo finally. Yeah. And then there were a couple like new, and there were a couple new exciting ones. And I think that would be
pretty good overall.
Yeah. Oh, and there was some not video game related things.
Yeah.
So
yes,
it was very much about the beginning of it at least was very much about Mario's 40th anniversary. And they announced Super Mario Galaxy 2, which was interesting because I didn't realize they had a Super Mario Galaxy 2, so I thought it was a new game at first. And I'm like, oh, this is exciting. And then I realized, oh no, wait, they've already made this game.
Yeah.
And so they just bundled it with the first one and released it for the Switch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's going to be a one where you can buy physically, it seems. It was hard to determine whether some of these, and we'll get to it, like our physical games are on the
Downloads.
what is it? The on no.
Or
what is it? The
some kind of-
online package? Because they have
like
those
virtual disc, or I don't remember what the hell.
I don't know. Well, because like the GameCube games when they made the Switch 2, those are part of the online extension or whatever. So, but this one seems like it's going to be like a standalone paired game.
Yeah.
And that's cool. If you like it, it's not remastered at all.
Yeah.
It's just what you played then on a Switch now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do, personal opinion, the Galaxy games are like top tier Mario 3D games in my opinion. I really like those. So I think that's neat. If you don't have them, or you don't want to pull your Switch out of the closet or wherever it is, yeah, that's not bad. I mean, that's cool, but it's not, new. It's neat.
Right.
Not new.
They did announce that they, because in, I think it's the Switch or Galaxy 2, Rosalie has a storybook, and they did add a few new pages to that. So, they did add a couple things, but it wasn't like
Probably not enough
a
to call
dramatic
it a
change.
remaster or
Yeah.
remake or a reorg or a re-energized or whatever. Put a patent on that. Because apparently everyone's calling it something different.
Yeah.
Going on with the Mario Galaxy, they announced, I think it's spring of next year, our favorite Mario, Chris Pratt, is coming back. And they are doing a Mario Galaxy movie. They announced that Jack Black is going to be Bowser. I don't remember Bowser in the Galaxy games, but I'm not positive.
I think, he was there.
Was he?
I think so.
I didn't play much of them. I watched Vinny play them. But Rosalina's in it. They didn't announce who Rosalina is,
Yeah.
if I recall. But they announced
imagine
that everyone that
yeah.
was in the old game is coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, in the old movie is coming back as those characters.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm sure it'll be good. It'll be
Vinny's
fun.
excited to
The
see
first one
that.
was fun.
Mario Tennis Fever, because we were itching for a Mario. I think everyone was hoping for the announcement of, oh God, what is, I always get the Mario games confused. What was the one that came out for the Switch? The
Odyssey?
Odyssey, yeah. I think everyone was hoping for an Odyssey too.
Yeah.
Spoiler, no.
I think the tennis game looks fun as far as tennis games go. It looks like there's a lot of stuff to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I think it's cool that they added, there's a baby version where it's more like a storyline, and so I think that's
But you're still using tennis.
yeah, you're
mechanics.
still you're learning how to play tennis basically, and attacking monsters using the tennis ball, racket and ball. But I think that's kind of a clever way to add in an element if someone doesn't really want to just play a Mario tennis game.
Yeah.
So.
I'm a little worried because I think people were by and large not super thrilled with the Mario Golf game on the Switch. They really made it. I have not played it, but they did a lot of things where it got really far removed from whatever it has been before, and so hopefully they will have learned their lesson and not made this barely recognizable as a tennis. It looked fine. It looked like tennis with crazy stuff. So hopefully they'll do a good job and not make whatever mistakes were made with golf.
If I remember,
Wow.
I don't know if I counted it correctly, but I think they have 5 different modes of it. So it's there's some that are a little bit more agile tennis, then there's they kind of have some modes that kept adding to it to make it a little bit more fantasy-ish.
They have special rackets or something that do special moves. Cool. That was one that Vinny called out. Oh, I want that game. Yeah, it's weird because Mario Golf. I think the last Mario Golf I played was before it was even called Mario Golf. It was just golf for the NES.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
Right? But I don't know, the sports game, which coming up, sports games was never really my big excitement, and then to put an IP on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say the Mario Golf games I played, I don't think I played the GameCube one. I played the N64 one, and some of the ones that were before that on various handhelds are actually really, if you like golf games at all, they're really fun. But it sounded like the weird Switch one had a racing element or something. I don't know, where you had to race to your ball. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. It sounded weird. But anyway, they're cool if you're kind of like me and you don't like, or you're not really super into normal sports, but, you know, maybe add some weird little tweaks to them, or there's fireballs flying around. Maybe that sounds better to you. The Mario sports games are good for that in general.
I played, so like as far as tennis games go, I think I played like a tennis game for the Wii, because I remember having to like actually swing.
It's probably like the resort.
Oh no, that might have been table tennis.
Oh.
Like a table tennis one. But I think it might have been like a Wii Sports or something.
Yeah.
But it did have the Mario characters. That I can recall. So I don't know what it was. But I played, and I'm not going to jump into this, it's not my transition, but I played a lot of Mario Tennis for the Virtual Boy, mainly because there were not that many games for the Virtual Boy. So continuing down, they did Welcome to Bella Bell Park, which is the Nintendo Switch 2 edition for Mario Wonder, which I think they added a few levels.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to charge for that.
It looks interesting. It really just reminded me of doing a lot of the mini games in Mario
That's
Party.
what it looked like.
So.
I think it looked fun. I'm worried, like, because, I mean, you know, they're just trying to show a quick video. I'm hoping there's a lot to do in this Bella Bell Park thing, and it's not just, like, 6 mini games. You know what I mean? If they have a lot added, that's super cool. But, you know, time's going to tell on that one.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know if they mentioned if they upgraded any graphics or anything.
I don't remember them saying anything.
that.
Yeah. And they didn't announce any prices for anything, if I recall.
Yeah.
Like anything. So.
Well, they probably don't announce prices because they probably reuse some of that video for different regions.
Yeah.
And some of them, they might not know what they're going to price it yet.
Right. And it did remind me, the Mario Wonder, it reminded me that they did put a Mario Wonder, I don't know if it's a racket or a mode in the tennis.
Oh, yeah, that was something.
You
Yeah,
like
I remember that.
dropping acid and playing tennis.
Who doesn't?
I played some Mario Wonder with Vinny, and I watched him play, and it was a trip, man.
It was bizarre.
Yeah.
It gets weird.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that they had for the Mario 40th anniversary was not really Mario at all. It was Yoshi. And of course, I'm watching the chat go like a mile a minute. Everyone's like, new Yoshi's World, no, new Yoshi's World. Nope. It is Yoshi's Mysterious Book, where Yoshi's reading a big magical book or something.
Yeah.
And to help the book progress, he has to go into the levels.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed a little more cozy.
It seemed like, even the way the announcer was talking, and granted, it's like the same announcer, but I feel like it's aimed at, like, young kids. Because, like, oh, look, Yoshi found a dandelion. How pretty.
Plant
Oh,
more
boy.
or something.
Yeah, plant more. I think he's found a friend. Like, whoa, this is not for, I don't think this is for me. Unless there's a lot more to it than it sounds like there is.
Which is interesting because, like, majority of the people that are watching this at 6, 7, 8 in the morning, these are USA times.
Yeah.
And I don't know what time it was in Japan or whatever.
Yeah.
Or if they even had, like, a same one. I'm assuming it was all across the world at the same time. But this was the Nintendo Direct America.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, announce a kids game, because I feel like their audience is not necessarily kids.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is, but it isn't.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they try to aim at families a lot.
Right.
So
But this is a single player game.
yeah.
So
But it's one of those, like, okay, like, we got these games for the adults. Here's one for your kids.
right, I guess. But I feel like it's gonna be just as popular as the Peaches Playtime. Peaches, what is that one?
I know what you're talking about.
The
I can't
one where
remember
she's
what
in a
it's called,
play.
but- Yeah.
Which I thought that one was okay, but even Vinny thought that was way too easy.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I think this one's going to be kind of on the similar level. I don't
Well,
know.
it sounds like it's a game that might be more aimed at people like your girls that aren't really into video games yet. And so they're like, oh, we'll use a cute animal, Yoshi. Like, trying to kind of, I guess, a gateway game to get people into
They're getting a lot better at Smash Bros.
It'll have its audience. I'm sure
Yeah.
it will. You know.
Virtual Boy, they announced that. So this is Virtual Boy arrives for Nintendo Classics. I believe Nintendo Classics is the online thing where they already have like NES, SNES, and if you want to pay money to get their online service, it comes with like, this is an added bonus. So there's that, which sucks because then you can only play them while hooked up to the internet. And I don't know. It is their choice of how to give these games.
Yeah.
But I was so confused when I was watching this in the beginning because I eventually saw him have a Virtual Boy, and I'm like, oh, it's just a gimmick, blah, blah, blah. Then I saw him open and put the Switch, without the controllers, obviously, into it. And I'm like, whoa, what is going on? Like, it's going to be $50, $60, $70. It's going to be somewhere in that range to play all 20 Virtual Boy games.
And you're going low. If I had to take a guess, I would say like probably they're going to charge like $120 for it.
Yeah.
But it's just a shell, right?
Yeah.
It's just a shell. It's not a system itself. I don't know. Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to see.
But then there's also a cardboard version.
I didn't see that. Was that announced at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, oh man. Were people asking for that? Like, honestly, like, I thought the Virtual Boy was like locked in a cabinet somewhere at Nintendo and be like, we don't talk about this. We didn't do this.
Well, because I think some of the biggest failures of Nintendo, if I had to point at some, were the Virtual Boy and the 3DS. And I mean, there were a lot of games that came out for that system, but I want to know, and you can put it in the comments below, whatever, if you owned a 3DS, how many times did you turn on the 3D? Because they stopped towards the end of that life cycle. They stopped making. I swear they didn't make that many 3D games for it.
Yeah.
And I feel like the biggest complaint was like headache, blah blah. I owned a Virtual Boy. Do you guys know what Awanas is? It's like a church. It's like Boy Scout or like Cub Scouts, or because there were girls or Boy Scouts for church, and they had this thing where if you did so many like Bible verses and all sorts of stuff, you got this like Monopoly type money, and then you could take this money, and at the end of the year they had this big event, and it was probably just our church, but then they had a silent auction, and I went into there knowing that I had the most money, and I saw the Virtual Boy, and I said, I don't care how much I could win it for, here's all my money, this is the only thing I want.
Right.
And so I got the Virtual Boy, and then I got a few games with it, and then a couple of the games eventually down the line. And it was weird. It was nice because it was portable in a way. If you had the batteries for it. But like there was no like comfortable way to play this game, because you were either leaning over when it was propped up on a table, or the most comfortable way I found was laying on my back and just having the thing over my face. But I don't know. Like I said, who is asking for this?
Yeah.
The games are still 3D red.
Yeah. Like
black.
I'm not so much like this, but I know a lot of people who like the retro games, even if they're not using like the original hardware, they want the experience to be as close to the original as possible. So if this thing doesn't give you a searing headache and eye problems, it's not going to catch on. It's just, that's part of the experience. I need like a migraine.
I'm not sure, and I'll have to double check this, and people can correct me if I'm wrong. There wasn't really a Mario mainline game for it.
I don't think so.
There was Mario Tennis. There was Wario, because I played a lot of Wario for it. There was Nestor's Bowling that I played for it. And I don't know what else, but
I think didn't they announce
much.
like there was 15 games that they were releasing for or something like that.
It's probably all the games they had.
Yeah.
To be honest, or maybe they're ignoring some of the smaller games.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was never much games for it, so it's interesting. I would be curious to see how much the shell cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not something I'm going to go out and
No,
grab.
I mean, it seems more like a curiosity kind of thing, or just like a collector thing. You can say you have it.
Yeah, it's probably going to be like a limited run thing.
Yeah.
So.
They announced that there's going to be new Mega Evolutions in Pokemon Legends ZA. The game's not even out yet, so...
Yeah.
So hold on. Here's something I knows about that. And did I hear right that they're going to have paid DLC that is evolutions of, like, Raichu and something else? I'm pretty sure they said that.
Well, there's a download, paid download that's, like, to, like, alternative universe Raichus. Like, basically one has double tails and then one has, like, double tails, but they're on their head. Like,
so out of curiosity,
Mega Dimension DLC for Pokemon
that's what it was.
are the people who are making Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 running Nintendo now because paid DLC on day one of things that seems like they could just fit into the game? I don't think that's great.
I'd be curious to see how much it is. $4 or $5, maybe, to get 2 Pokemon. If it's more Pokemon, I don't know. But I'm really against day one DLCs.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense.
No.
Put it into the main game.
Agreed.
I don't even remember this one. Pokemon Pokepia?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah, so that one,
Probably subbed
it's kind of Pokemon meets...
Harvest Moon, maybe? Or
Yeah, Forest Moon, where it's like you are playing as a Ditto who like copies like themselves into a human. I don't know if it's like the video was a little girl. I don't know if you can pick between being a little girl or a little boy, but basically
I should definitely
you find you find Pokemon and then you start make a farm and build a village on this island.
Not Power World.
yeah. No, Power World is Pokemon with guns. I don't know if there's guns in that one.
Well, I think there's like farming in Power World, isn't there?
Oh, probably.
Because I remember.
I haven't played it,
in
but-
the beginning you could like catch people.
After that news about that patent, I put Power World on my wish list on Steam, so if it goes on sale, I'm gonna get it.
There you go.
Just to support them.
Resident Evil Requiem. Mm-hmm. Is that a new game
That's
or an
the
old
new
game?
one. That's
Okay.
technically Resident Evil 9, which that's cool. If it switches your system, I think
It'll
it's awesome.
probably come out for other ones.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna get on that just because the chances of me playing it on the TV is unlikely. I'll probably get it on Steam or whatever. But I mean, hey, that's neat that it's there. That's the new one coming out, so looks cool. We'll see. I heard that some. I don't know if you've seen any of the like preview videos. There are people apparently who are mad that the main character, who's this lady, seems too scared all the time. I'm like, it's survival horror. Like, she's not like it's not as horrific if she has like an AK-47 because she could blow everyone away. So she should be kind of scared because it's scary. Like, I don't get it.
Are the Resident Evil games? I feel like 1 and 2 maybe. Are the Resident Evil games? And I've never played past that. Do they know about the Umbrella Company and all that stuff? Like, as it goes on 6, 7, 8, now 9, are they familiar with what happened in, what was it, Raccoon City and things like that?
Yeah.
I mean, they know that these things are things, right?
Yeah, so there's like the big story is like too complicated, but like there's not like a SWAT team, like a special force, right, called STARS. And I don't know what they did before Umbrella did crazy shit, but they deal with Umbrella. And so you get mostly recurring characters in the various Resident Evil games. And so they know what Umbrella's up to, and they know what's going on. This gal looks like she might work like in like the STARS office or something, or maybe even the Umbrella office. I'm not sure. But she looked like just like an office worker lady, and she has to go investigate something, and it goes bad. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to get out. But either way, they tend to know. The general populace, I don't think does, but the people you play as, of the ones I've played, which is not every single one, but they know of Umbrella Corporation and what's happening.
Gotcha. All right. Because you had mentioned she was kind of scared.
Yeah.
So I was like, but if you're going into this situation,
yeah,
then
she's not like some badass.
Well, I got the impression that, and maybe I'm confusing my games, but I got the impression that she is not part of a company that deals with Umbrella. She's like a PI or something, like a detective or something, and they're like, hey, this crime happened, go look at this. And then she has flashbacks where I think her mom worked for the company or worked for Umbrella, and so now she's having flashbacks. So she doesn't really know about the things that Umbrella Company made, but like her mom did, and that's probably why she's so scared, because it's for her it's kind of a newer thing.
Yeah.
Newer things coming at her. So
makes sense.
Stormlancers? You said you were interested.
I thought
in
it looked cool. It's like a roguelike, multiplayer, side-scrolling, hack and slash platform looking thing. So it looked fun.
This is a new game.
Yeah.
I'm maybe it'll come out for other systems.
Yeah, I don't know who's actually the publisher, if it's Nintendo or somebody else, but I would want to hear reviews first because there's a lot of games that kind of do that sort of thing, but it looked nice, I thought. So
Yeah, I think I mentioned this before when we talked, but like, my son will probably get a Switch 2 eventually. Mm-hmm. If he saves his money or gets it for a holiday or whatever, right. I don't know. But I have no intention of getting a Switch 2. I really looked into myself as a person and really thought, like, what Nintendo exclusives would I be willing to purchase? And lately, Pokemon just hasn't been doing it for me lately.
Right.
And that was the big one that kept me going. So I don't know. But there were some interesting things coming up. Not this one. This just happens to be the next one. Dinkum?
yeah.
I didn't
Cozy
catch
game
much about that.
thing,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
It says transform a wild island inspired by Australian outback.
Yeah, that
kind of
one,
like
like
an Animal Crossing.
yeah, it
type
like
game.
remind me of like a mix between Animal Crossing and Minecraft.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then another game that seemed kind of on the same level was it Tamagotchi Life Living the Dream?
Yeah.
Is that the one with the Mii's?
Yes.
I just want to hear them talk because they talk really funny.
Yeah.
But I'm not interested in the game at all. Yeah. If I can incorporate them in, I want to be able to put them into Resident Evil Requiem and be like, oh no, there's a thing next to me. Like, that'd be fantastic. Oh my god, it'd be the best game ever.
Oh, that's what I remember about
Get together
it.
with
Yeah.
Nintendo.
You picked their voice, but they were like so like computer.
It's like
generated.
it's like bad or first generation AI voices or something. Like it's really like it's funny as
You
hell.
want to play?
Yeah.
Like,
It's really odd.
But you could like scale it if I remember right.
Oh,
Is what
okay.
they were previewing. Their voices. Popucom? I don't remember this one from the thing. Embark on a colorful.
Oh yeah, you know what it looked like? It looked like you know the games like Bustin' Move where you shoot at the bubbles, like the same color bubbles, and then it pops up. Okay, it's like that, but a 3D platformer. So these bubbles pop down, and you're like, I have to shoot the pink bubbles with the pink gun, so that wall of bubbles will get out of my way. And so you do that, and then you can run around them.
yeah,
That's what it looked like.
there's like
It's weird.
4, if I remember correctly, there's like 4 characters you play as. Each character can only shoot or carry like 2 of the colors, so you have to like switch through your characters so that you can shoot the correct color bubbles.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. There was Hades 2, which is one of the games that you could already play for many other systems.
That'll be fantastic. I mean, it's
I think you play as the original person's sister, if I recall,
yeah, no,
who was Hades' son.
Daughter.
So now you're Hades'
Yeah,
daughter.
you're playing as Hades' daughter.
Yeah. I guess that was a weird way to introduce it.
I haven't played 2, but I mean, if it's anything close to 1, it's great. But yeah, it's available. It's been available for a while. Same. Oh, I don't know if you're getting to this, but going back to Resident Evil for a minute, they're also coming out with 7 and 8 on Switch. I don't know if that's one package or if it's you could buy 7 or buy 8. But here's the thing: even if they're one package, I guarantee you that's going to cost minimum, and I'm being real generous, $50. Okay, I think last week I could buy 8 on Steam for $5. So, if that's the only system you have, great. They're good. They're worth playing. But like, I don't know. I probably wouldn't do Switch if you got other ways.
They announced. Well, they didn't announce. They had some. They talked about a little more about games that we kind of already knew were coming. So like Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment, as well as Monster Hunter Stories 3. I think they touched a little bit more on. Apparently, there's another Dynasty Warriors. I don't know any of these games.
Oh, Danganronpa. Weird, very gory, very graphic visual novel. They're interesting. I played a little bit of just one of the PSP ones. It's real weird. It's like a battle royal kind of, or what's that one with Katniss?
Hunger Games?
Hunger Games kind of theme. A bunch of kids are in a place. They have to kill each other. There's an evil teddy bear, or several. It's odd. Interesting, though.
The one that I thought was the weirdest, and I think it was towards the end, is I can't remember the name of it. It's the fruit one.
Yeah.
the
Game,
bubble fruit thing?
Suka Game Planet.
Yeah. Like, that's, as far as I know, the original is just a phone game. And so, like,
Yeah.
like I know I've played that game on my phone. And so, like, it's weird to me that they're taking a phone game and putting it on a system.
For a price, probably, too.
Yeah.
Well, I think we talked about it last Direct. They had taken the Plants vs. Zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Power Wash 2, Craving More Clean. They made the talking flower. You can get just a talking flower now.
I hope that doesn't end up in our house one day because it's just going to talk. Because
Who controls the money in this house?
It literally
just don't buy your kids one.
It literally said.
Well, the problem is does somebody buy it for our kids?
Yeah. It said it even talks when you don't tell it to. Why? That's not a positive.
Yeah, no. He's like he said that on his own.
Yeah. No.
It's this generation's Furbies.
Oh God. No.
But it's the I think first we're in Wonder, right?
Yeah.
The talking flower.
Yeah, they're cute and Wonder.
Yeah.
Because you can turn off the game. I don't.
They can buy that.
No.
Dragon Quest VII is coming out with a something imagined.
Fantastic. I hear that's
Is it reimagined?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. See?
Is it coming out or are they just imagining it? Oh, who knows?
But
I heard it's a really big game, long game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the original graphics, or are they like? Is it like a big change?
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with Dragon.
Yeah, that one looks more like visually how like Dragon Quest XI looked on Switch. 7 was on like the PlayStation, I think. So it's a big graphical difference.
Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly remake.
That's gonna be great. Or they'll mess it up. But
It's a remake, so
Yeah.
I mean,
you would think
I don't touch much. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're creepy. Good.
Well, we'll have to wait and see the difference between a remake and a reimagined.
Yeah.
Metroid Prime 4. Okay.
It's kind of like Metroid Prime, but like a fourth time.
And I think that was it.
Yeah.
That movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Like I said, not a lot of exciting new game. Oh no, false. I don't even know why it wasn't there. The big thing that was new was Fire Emblem.
yeah. Oh my God, how did I forget about that? That's like the one I was most excited about.
Yeah. What was it called? What was it? Fire Emblem what?
Yeah, that I don't remember.
Fortune.
It's called Fire Emblem, the new one.
But people are saying it might be a sequel to The Three Houses.
Oh. Even if it's not, I don't care. It looks cool. I was like, without even having context for these story elements, they'd like have something and someone would say something interesting. I'd be like, oh my God. Wait, I don't know what's going on, but it's cool though. Like
Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave.
Yeah.
The graphics looked really cool. I played some Fire Emblems. They have pretty good stories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the big controversy: do you kill off your characters? Do you make it? Do you play the version that you don't kill off your characters?
I can't kill off my characters. I can't because I'll just restart the same missions over and over, and I'll never get through the game.
Right. But it definitely does give you like a different play style for sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
So I played both modes.
Yeah.
Is this the game that makes me want to switch to? I have no clue.
Yeah.
Because I really love tactics type games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough.
We'll see.
I mean, Switch is still early days. Anytime you get a system at the beginning, like you're really buying the potential of that system. There's usually not a ton of like things for a while that are super exciting. It takes a bit to get there, but I'm sure it will. Whether or not it'll appeal to you, I don't know. But
Well, speaking of tactics and strategy, should we get into this week's game?
right, Pac-Man. Oh wait, no, sorry. Okay. So as I mentioned at the top, we played Dragon Force for the Sega Saturn. This game was originally developed by J-Force and Sega, and then it was published in the United States by Working Designs, who we talked about earlier, in 1996. So it's a strategy game that has a choice of 6 generals, but then becomes 8 generals once you beat the game. It unlocks a couple. There are 10 different troop types that you can have. Each general can have up to 100, I'm going to say soldiers, but that is actually a specific kind of troop, but individuals under their control at a time in a battle. Up to 5 different generals can be involved in a fight. There's 30 castles that you can control, and there's a total of ballpark here. 211 generals in the game. There's argument if that number is right. I don't know why. You'd think they would just know. But nonetheless.
Maybe different kingdom playthroughs have different
that could be.
numbers.
So this game, as I said, came out on the Sega Saturn. It was never re-released in the US on anything. It did get a re-release in Japan on PlayStation 2. But the reason why we haven't seen it is because supposedly they've lost the source code for it. So they would have to rebuild it from the ground up. That's happened to other games in the past too. Panzer Dragoon Saga, also on the Saturn. Final Fantasy VIII, I guess they did a remaster at some point, and they had to redo a bunch of the assets because they lost a lot of the source code. Kingdom Hearts as well, when they redid that, they had to rebuild a lot of the stuff to do it because I don't know how you lose source code, but...
Well, Final Fantasy Tactics, they lost.
Oh, did they? Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay, yeah.
Well, also kind of reminds me of like the whole storyline behind one of the Toy Story movies. Like they something happened at Pixar where they lost all the data, and there's one person that was on maternity leave, so she was working from home, and she saved the movie because she had it at home on her home computer.
Wow.
Gotcha. There's a few different phases for this game. There's the domestic phase that happens at the end of every, or the beginning, depending on how you want to look at it, of every in-game week, where you can talk to your generals, see what they want. If they're happy, you can give them awards for battles won. You can talk to captives and try to sway them to be your generals. You can fortify castles. You can search for things in the castles where you have intelligent enough people. And then you have the map area where you can send groups of generals and soldiers from place to place to attack other castles, or you can recruit new troops at a castle that you're at. I'm sure we'll get into some of the other actions there, and then there are the battles where you will see all the generals they have and all the generals you have that are involved, and you basically will pick one general to go against one of their generals, and then your troops will meet on the field battle, and you can give them orders on how to behave.
So many orders.
There's a lot of orders. And your general will also have usually some sort of special attack that might heal or might hurt just the general or might hurt the general army. It varies. So that's more, I'm really being basic here, but that's kind of overview of the three modes. One thing I'm going to try to do going forward, unless people hate it, is I'm going to try to give you some quotes of reviews of the times the games were released, because we're trying to see, how these games hold up now. We may agree, we may disagree. But one of these is not actually a quote, but it's kind of funny, so I'll talk about that one too. So, Electronic Gaming Monthly, Crispin Boyer said, Dragon Force is about as good a strategy game can get. It has a sprawling world, epic storyline, a cast of thousands, and the most awe-inspiring battles ever seen in a video game. It also gave EGM also gave it the Game of the Month award. Game Informer, Rainer.
Is it cast of thousands or 211?
If you count
putting all the troops.
yeah.
All the grunts.
Which is weird, because that still listen, I didn't write it. Talk to Crispin, all right? Game Informer, Rainier, said he highlighted the unpredictable nature of the game's factions, the unpredictability of the competing nations, and said that it demanded quicker thinking and reflexes than is required in most strategy games. And here's the one I think is funny. This is from Sega Saturn magazine in the UK. The writer was Matt Yo. I assume he's from the UK. I don't know if he's disgruntled with society in the UK in general. But he said, Matt Yo gave a more mixed viewpoint. While agreeing that the game is well constructed, he concluded that most British gamers would not have the attention span needed to enjoy the game's battle sequences, much less its administrative segments. Damn, dude. All the British people, look, some people are going to dig that in some art, but, the British people can't handle this? Wow. Good luck walking down the street there, buddy. I don't know what. Wow.
Well, I mean, he worked for Sega Saturn magazine. I mean, that's not a long-lived magazine.
No.
Yeah.
It has an end.
Yeah. It's man, that's what I was thinking. I like the Saturn, okay? I really enjoyed it, but, only so many games really came out. Every episode, every magazine's here's the 5 games we're covering this. We'll do the reviews and we'll do an 8-page report on each one, I guess. I don't know.
Well, but I mean, you look at, if you had, an SNES magazine.
Right.
You knew that the SNES came from the NES.
Yeah.
And you have to assume, with the success, that they're going to make another system.
Yeah.
So, your lifespan is so limited, you're going to be disgruntled.
But Steve, this came after the success of the Sega CD and the 32X add-ons for the Genesis. How could it possibly go wrong? Okay. Anyway.
Sega Saturn, was that before the Dreamcast?
Yes, that was on
The Dreamcast was the last one.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, someday we could do it. I mean, there's a lot of things that went wrong with this. The Saturn itself, good system, but the way Sega handled a lot of things around it and it itself, they made some mistakes. A lot of mistakes, unfortunately, because it was a cool system, but the system needs support and a good name going in, and it didn't have that at that time.
Yeah, I don't understand what Saturn meant.
Planet.
Well, I understand. Why? Anyway,
they just like
I have
it.
the How Long to Beat.
Yeah, what is that?
The main story, 3.5 hours. Main plus extras, 40 hours. And completionist, 48 hours. So they probably aren't talking about going through all 10 groups.
I can't fathom how you'd do this in 3.5 hours.
I didn't say 3 hours. 3.5. 30.5.
30.5. Okay, thank
Yeah.
God. I was like,
I was like, what?
what perfect combination of luck must you need to do it in 30.5?
30.5 hours.
Thank you.
48
That's-
for completionist.
that's
So
much better.
assuming you're searching and finding all the items and giving all the awards. And
Yes. Okay, good. I feel so much better.
waiting for the damn guy to walk to the next town.
It's that's a continent is what you have to realize. So they have to go.
He's at least not walking around a train.
That's true. He's not walking around a train.
I swear, though, that every over map that we played has taken their walking speed from Where's Waldo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Broken Sword, this game, Where's Waldo? They move at the speed of molasses. But to be fair, because it's a real-time strategy game, you can't really have them move that fast, because if you make a mistake and need to change their direction or whatever, then I guess.
Yeah.
But it was just so, like, in the beginning, and I assume, like, as you go on and you're controlling multiple things walking around, that it would make sense that they're walking at that speed so you can, like, do stuff with them. But at the beginning, when you start as, what was it, pale?
Well, you get him.
And you only have one way to go.
Yeah,
And
like-
you're watching your army go.
I think that's a good point, actually, is that when you first start the game, there's 6 factions that you can pick as. I think all 3 of us picked Pale Moon.
We did.
I did at one point. That was not my first choice.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think it's always the same situation that Pale Moon had, where they have their castle. There's literally one road and you can't walk past a castle. Like if you stop at a castle and there's anything in there, you're fighting. That's a fight. You have to get to that fight, and it does take forever to get there, and you don't have anything else going on the map because you just started. So that could be a little tedious to add to that. That first fight real easy though, right, guys? Did you simple? So no. Yeah, that first fight is brutal. Like, they are throwing you in, and I don't think the other generals have that, at least not all of them.
The video that I watched, is like there's Highland, like it's probably the most easy. It's probably the easiest to get started with because they have like a few different options, and then and they have some like minor castles. Like it seems like there's like kind of minor castles and major castles, or I'm not sure how they distinguish them in the games, but there's definitely some castles that are harder or easier than others. And so that one kind of eases you into the game a little bit more than Pale Moon does. Out of the 6 starting ones, there was like 4 of them that are kind of on the edge that they recommend starting with. And then there's 2 in the middle that are a lot harder because you have
opponents around you.
people coming at you from all angles. So.
Yeah. Using the very modern and perfect thing known as save states, I was able to win that fight, but in general, like, I mean, I still think that took a ton of luck that I managed to pummel my way through that. I think what you have to do usually is go up there, hopefully defeat a couple generals so you can award some of your generals, retreat back to your base, give them awards, which raises the amount of troops they can have, right? So, like, if they could have 10 cavalry, if you give them an award in cavalry, now they can do 20. So you can raise their troops, go back again, hopefully do better this time. If not, head on back, give awards, raise troops, etc.
Well, one of the things that you're kind of skimming over that I think adds to this and makes that whole idea a lot more tedious is that you only get to do the awards and upgrades and so that once a week in the gameplay. And so there's this when you're on the world map, there's this timer that's constantly going down. And so, like, you can't even just, like, necessarily do a battle, upgrade. You have to wait for the time to run out.
Yeah, and that sucks with that kingdom, because you literally have nothing else that you can do. That kingdom is supposed to be one of the easier ones to start with. And in fairness, once you get past that fight, another general joins you, and you suddenly have a lot more at your command, and you're in a corner, essentially. So going forward, overall, it probably is. But that start, like the actual very, very start of that one, damn, like that is throwing you into the deep end.
I feel like I don't know, maybe if you waited, like, I don't know what the point of waiting would be, because you can't recruit past your level of awards, or, you know what I mean? You can't. All the people have their max units at the beginning. So it's not like waiting could recruit more.
Yeah.
So you have
you
to
can't get
attack.
your awards unless you win a fight.
And and you can't get awards unless you win a fight.
Yeah.
But where you fight matters. If you fight along the road, you know, that you're more on equal balance. But if you fight in an opponent's castle, I'm assuming they have the advantage.
Yeah.
If they fight you. So I don't know if they'll come to you or if they'll send stuff to you if you wait long enough.
Right.
But it really seems like in Pale Moon you want to go. But I don't know. Like, I've done tabletop strategy games. I've done a lot of real-time strategy games. I've done a lot of tactics games. And every single game that I played, it tells you, like, it's very much rock, paper, scissors. Like, this unit can beat this unit. Like, if you see archers, you take your cavalry, and you go around and you sweep them. Like, right?
Right.
You flank them. And I took my cavalry, and I think Pale Moon starts with, 10, 15 cavalry?
It'd be multiple of 10.
It's
I don't know if
10,
10 or 20,
10.
but...
And the opponent that I went against had 20 archers. And, yeah, when my cavalry got to the archers, all 2 of them I had left, killed them all, but, like, I only had 2 left.
Yeah.
And, like, that doesn't seem realistic.
Yeah, well, like, so, just to clarify, like, if you look at the instructions, it has all the different troops and how they do against all the other troops, right? And it'll be either, like, neutral or good or very good or bad or very bad, right? And then you have the weird, depending on the area you're fighting, right? So if you're defending a castle, you have some % bonus because you're defending the castle. I think the tough thing, I kind of wonder, and I don't know, if that graph is meant when you're up against each other, this is how it goes, right? But you still have to charge into archers. Or mages are similar, right? Because they're just doing long range attacks. They're usually they're not going to just run them forward, because why? So on one hand, it makes sense to me because, yeah, of course, they're just going to stand there and shoot at you, and hopefully you survive and do damage. But I also think that makes that chart somewhat misleading, or it needs an asterisk or something.
Yeah.
That says,
Well,
hey,
there's also so many different, because, like, there's also different formations that you can send out in, and all that kind of stuff. So it's like there's so many different.
There's like 5 different formations, and then each formation has like 5 or 6 different instruction with it.
Like you can advance or retreat or regroup, and then like initially too, you have special, which I think everybody I think has all of your troops in front of you, and if you say advance, they're all going to advance.
Yeah.
Right. And then if you go have offense, like 2/3 will be in front of you, and if you say advance, those 2/3 will go, but the other ones will stay kind of running around you in case you get attacked.
Right.
And then there's defense, which is 1/3 advances, etc. Or you can just stand. But then as you said, going in from there, then there's further options as well. One of them, melee, is like, go fight. I can't order you anymore. It's like, you're gonna go for it. I can't tell you to do anything, but if you know that's gonna happen anyway, cool.
Well, sometimes you have to, because right after that fight, I was like, okay, well, cool. I'm gonna use my general who has 30 archers.
Yeah.
And mind you, this is the second army I played. This was my second choice. It wasn't my first choice. So I knew some stuff going into this. I have 30 archers, and I'm going against 10 soldiers, right? So I put them in like a defensive type position, and told them to hold or whatever. And they're shooting, and I lost. I fucking lost. 10 soldiers, wiped out 30 archers. But, like, when they finally got to me, I had to push melee, because they were just standing there and dying. Yeah. Otherwise, they wouldn't have attacked the things. And so, or maybe I barely won with, like, 3 or 4 archers left. But, like, it was basically a loss. And so I couldn't wrap my head around what mattered to what.
Yeah.
And I did find out, because the generals thing was one that I should have done while the soldiers were running in the middle. I didn't realize that because the first army that I chose didn't have something that attacked the army. Oh. So that would have helped a lot.
Yeah, those special abilities can, I mean, depending, can have a massive effect if you can hit them right. So one thing I wanted to ask you is if it was something you liked or disliked or were indifferent of. I actually liked it, but I can understand why some wouldn't. Is that your generals have personalities, and I don't just mean in their when they talk to you. Some are willing to go toe to toe with an army by themselves and fight to the death, and some, if you give them something that's too hard, they're going to be like, nope, I'm not doing that, and they straight up, you can't even use them later on in the same battle. Like, they'll be like, no, I've retreated, I'm gone. You know what I mean?
It depends.
Do they sometimes say?
Sometimes they will stay around. You can use them on a different general.
Gotcha. But yeah, some of them are not gonna, like, if you give them an order that would basically be too deadly in real life, they're like, nope, not doing that. Sorry, I can't win that fight. And they'll just, you have to pick someone else. That can be frustrating, but I also think it's neat because, granted, we're talking about a game with, like, dragon men and stuff, but, like, it adds a little bit of realism. Like, if you try to push people into something that is suicide, like, they're not going to do it. So I kind of enjoy that aspect, but I could see people hating it. Where did you guys stand on that kind of thing?
Yeah, so in the first battle of Pale Moon, I fought and beat, like, 2 or 3 generals, and I had, like, I still had my whole roster. None of mine actually got defeated, but they were, like, pretty much dead, right? Yeah. And then it got to the point where I'd be like, okay, your turn, you're the last person, you're one of the last people, and they're like, nope. I'm like, cool, great, what am I supposed to do now? I guess I'm retreating, and when you retreat, like, you don't get to keep, like, the captured people,
right,
unless you win, like, overall. I don't know. So it was interesting. Like, I kind of didn't understand that part. I mean, it makes sense, like, it made it more realistic, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's cool. You fight for me.
Yeah. I mean,
go.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
you have 10 archers, they have 30 soldiers. No, you do it.
I wish you could, like, give them a pep talk. You're like, listen, chances are they're just going to capture you. I'll come get you later. Just go do it. But, I mean, there's a chance that they will die, but they'll, like, they just nope right out of that. So, what about you, Hel?
Yeah, it was interesting. And, like, there were sometimes when they would refuse, and I don't understand why they refused. Because it was like, there's one time when, like, the person I was trying to send in had more soldiers or whatever, and it was also a unit that was supposed to be good against the enemy's unit. So I'm like, why?
See, what I'm wondering, and I don't know, because it's hard to, we can't see what's going behind the scenes in the programming, right? But like, some of the generals, when you talk to them, some are like, I want to get in the battle right away, and so you have to keep them happy, right, to get in the battle. But some of them are like, oh, I just like the nice peaceful lifestyle. And I wonder if it's some of those that are like, I'm not going to die for this dude. Like, I'm just going to, like, no, this is too hard. Even if it's not that hard, if some of them are more likely, if there's a chance or something where they're going to be like, can I just guard the castle when you win it, man? Catch you later? Like, I'm not sure, but it's interesting.
There was an interesting one. So, like I said, Pale Moon was the second one. Bozak was the first one that I played.
Okay, Bozak, yeah.
And one of the nearby castles, the people look a lot like you, and they use, like, beasts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was where I think I first found one of the refusals, and that made sense because it was like, I'm not fighting them, they're, like, kin. Right. I think is kind of what they said. And so it was interesting, and it sucked because I was like, I was winning that fight. And that was the first one that I had to retreat. Fucker just came after me. Oh. And I'm like, great. And because it was interesting, too, because when I first started up this game, I was figuring out buttons. We'll get over buttons hopefully soon. But I didn't know what to do. Like, I was looking around, and so I deployed everybody, and it's like, pick your leader. And so I picked the general, like the head honcho person. And they're like, okay, now pick who's coming with you. And so I just picked all of them. And they were like, sure you want to not have anybody in your castle? And I'm like, yeah, I'd probably regret it now, but whatever. And so I went down, and I got another castle, and I was confused what to do with it because no one was in it. Because unlike Pale Moon, which you start and there's water around you and you can only go one way, Bozak, there's a place down here, and then there's like a small town, or a couple small towns that you can go to. There's a castle that's guarded by, it's kind of like the same tribe, but maybe I feel like they felt betrayed or something.
Yeah.
They felt like they were the rightful leader and stuff like that.
And that's kind of how Pale Moon is, too.
Yeah,
like
a lot of the generals seem, or the kings or whatever, seem to have some kind of story like that, where there's...
And then there were other things that you could see, like, on the initial map. And you could see, like, people walking, like, back and forth above you. And so I didn't really know what I was doing. I took my whole force and went down. Someone came and took my castle, 1 unit. And then I beat that unit, and I got an award. I was like, cool. And I'm like, okay, well, now I feel good. I realized, like, oh, I shouldn't... Because it warned me, I shouldn't take everybody, and it showed me that, like, you know, if I move away from a castle with nobody in it, nothing to defend it, someone's going to come and take it. And I'm like, I played Heroes of Might and Magic, duh, that makes sense. Yeah. And so, like, I split my forces, and I kept, like, 1 unit there, and then I think you start with 6, so I think I did, like, 3 and went one way, and 2 and went another way. And that was more exciting when I watched him go, you know. But I didn't realize when I actually hit like a real castle that they have a full roster.
Yeah.
And they were just sitting and waiting for you. And so I hit the one next to me, and I darn near almost beat him with the 3 units that I had. And I had to retreat. And of course, here they come after me, right? And so, but like as soon as I finished that battle, that other one hit and it immediately went into their battle. Right. I'm like, well, shit. And I said, well, I can't afford to fight this battle because that castle had a full roster of people in it too. And I was like, nope. And I noped out of there, which I lost some some troops. Right. They're like, you left some behind. I'm like, well. And so like he had to come back and meet like there in my own thing, and I fought, and I think I lost or something. I don't recall, or maybe I won. And it was so hard to like change them around like mid walk, and there were so many choices to go on. It was very overwhelming for a console game. It seemed like if I had like a mouse and keyboard, maybe it would be a little different.
This does have like PC strategy game vibes as far as complexity goes. One thing I don't think we said on that map screen, there is the timer clicking down, but you can pause it at any time, and you can issue orders.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that helps a lot while paused. The other thing you can do is you can click on any castle or any person walking.
I figured that out.
Yeah, and it'll tell you what generals are in there, and it'll even tell you how many troops of each type they have. So you can at least make somewhat informed decisions on where you're going, and if you wanted to go tackle a certain thing, or what you might have to take to tackle a certain thing.
But in the beginning, it seems you're very narrow in your option of what you should do.
Yeah, it starts pretty small, but I think I'm not sure what the other generals, because I did play the first time I played back when it came out. I played as what's that Fabio looking dude, the blonde Highland Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
So I don't remember how that started out, but in this one, like you get Highland's troops on your side like immediately, pretty much after you defeat that first castle. So suddenly you have a lot of stuff all over the place, and then you have a lot of different things you're doing. Like you can make a lot more choices. Pale Moon, like you have a choice, like go do that until you win. But it opens up real quickly after that. You just have to get past that extremely high wall. So
yeah, I feel like if I would have taken the Bozak forces and took them all this way, then I probably would have won it because I darn near almost won it with not as many people, but then I would have lost my castle. But so, and I went back, and I think this is where I got frustrated because I think I did beat them after they came after me. And I was like, okay, the week ended or began, or, you know, however you want to look at it. And I was like, oh yeah, I need to recruit more guys. Okay, recruit beast. And it gave me like 2. And I'm like, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Like, I lost 100 people holding on to my life, and you gave me 2 guys.
Yeah.
Like, this is gonna be rough. So,
Yeah, the castles, they have some amount of reserve troops, right?
Yeah.
And if you deplete them, I don't know at what speed they start replenishing, but it takes time. And that's part of what fortifying does. It gives you a higher maximum number of troops in that castle. But there have definitely been times where I'm like, well, okay, I'm just going to go recruit and get new people. And I'm like, oh, I don't actually have... I mean, I don't think I hit 2, but I mean, there have been times where I'm like, oh, I don't have nearly what I was hoping for. I guess I'll just have to like sit here and wait until the next week, and hopefully that'll have replenished or something. But I mean, I guess it makes sense, except for the fact that you have like, let's say 100 troops, right? But apparently you could say you're a harpy now. You're an archer. Because whatever they are, they replenish any troop you want them to replenish. I think it's just kind of weird. It's fine. I'm glad you don't have to worry about replenishing very specific types, because that would be a pain in the ass. But it's kind of funny to me that like you're this whole totally different thing now. Psh, there you go. Yeah. Join that unit. It's weird.
So I have a question. I didn't get that far. Like, I could barely beat the first whatevers of the armies that I played. And as you go on, can you get mixed troops within certain generals, or do you have to stick with those troops and all of one?
So I could be wrong, but you have all of the troops that you sent out are the same troops, but the generals can select different troops. Like in Pale Moon, the main gal leader that you're playing as, like, she can have archers or cavalry or mages. And when you're recruiting, I think they call it class. You can change which class she's gonna lead for that battle.
And you can also give your generals, like, when you're doing the search, sometimes you'll find an item, and I don't remember if this is the right name, it'll be like Mage Crystal or something, right? So you give that to a general that couldn't previously be the leader for mages, and now that general can be. But if you're going into a fight, if you mean like in an individual fight...
Like, I couldn't have cavalry and archers.
No. It's all just one type against another.
That's not how you fight a war.
But can you imagine how much more complicated it would be if you had to be like, well, here's my 6 different troop types.
Maybe.
And
I don't know. Maybe. And that's another thing. When you get into the battle, that's real time as well.
Yeah.
And then after if you were to both deplete all your troops, you go into a duel, which I have no clue what that meant. It seemed like they were just swinging at each other randomly, because sometimes you hit once to 5 times, sometimes you missed, sometimes you only swung one. Like, it didn't make any sense.
Yeah, you don't have any control. Like, once you choose duel, it happens, and you watch it.
Yes.
That's basically what it is.
Basically just...
I thought it was going to be like...
Who has more power and who has... It's basically based off of your power and your health, and their power and health.
I think, and I don't know, though, I was thinking, like, their personal character class might have something to do with it, too, but I'm not certain if that's actually the case. But, like, 'cause, you know, like, somebody is... This guy's a samurai, and that guy's more of a soldier type, whatever, you know. I think that might affect it, but I'm not certain. Usually... If the person has way more health than I do in a duel, I just retreat out of that. I've won a fight like that before where I seemed to be way on the back foot. I was even under leveled, but like right away, like my dude did like 3 attacks in a row, then he hit me once and I survived, and then I did like 3 more attacks in a row and killed him. And I was like, whoa, like that's amazing. But it is, you know, I don't know. I honestly don't know how much of that is luck and how much of that is knowing your character, what class they are, and that person, and like, it's hard for me to say because I can't see the background, you know, math going on.
So, when I noticed, it was my cavalry guy, and I took out one guy with the cavalry, and then I had like him and 2 cavalry. I'm like, cool, the cavalry, 2 guys took out like all the archers, and then they whittled down the guy and then died, and then it got into a duel, and I won the duel, and I had plenty of health left.
Right.
And so I then took another one of my generals, put him up against someone else, got him low, and then we got to a duel, I think, and maybe I lost that one. So I went up against him with my cavalry guy, and I lost him too. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, and he didn't seem like he was that...
Not that bad.
But my cavalry dude, like, he did like 3 attacks and like killed the dude like almost instantly the first time. And then he only did like 1 attack, and I'm like, and then I watched the other guy do 3 attacks. And I'm like, great.
I'm purely assuming. I do not know. It has something to do with your class and your level, how likely you are to do extra attacks. I'm assuming there is some kind of math percentage going on in the background that's taking this stuff into account, and that's what's happening. Don't know. Because I just don't. I assume that's the case. I don't mind the duel thing. I do wish it was more active in some way. I'm not saying it needs to become a fighting game, but I wish there was some kind of like, go on the defense for a few minutes, or like,
make it like Suikoden,
change your stance so like you can do this other kind of attack. Something. Just add, it doesn't have to, I don't need to be like super complicated, but it would have been cool if it added a little something in there where you can make a couple choices just to feel like you were a little more involved in the process. Like, I don't mind how it is because it's not long, but I would have liked to have a little more say on what happens at that point. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, I think I just felt like this game was a little too much for this week. But that's also, fair. Like, it was very ambitious of a game. There was a lot of menu management for real-time strategy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when we say real, it's not like it doesn't play like Warcraft, right? You know what I mean? It's just everything is in real time, but it's not like what you usually think of when you say real-time strategy. It's
right.
Like that. It's different.
Yeah, it's only if you watch the YouTube will you see this, but this is what I played it on. Because I couldn't get it on my system.
It's a Retroid Pocket 5. I know it's possible, but I don't know what the problem was. I don't know if it was a problem with how that ROM came, or I just don't.
Well, I know you wanted to talk about the buttons a little bit.
Oh, yeah. You have some buttons.
Yeah, because the Sega Saturn, they have the D-pad, and then they have 6 buttons. And I never got into the Sega Saturn, really, and I don't recall anybody who had one. But like 6 buttons is a lot of buttons, and to play.
They did go back down to 4 on the Dreamcast.
Yeah,
so.
right. Probably a reason. But so I had to. A lot of the buttons that I would think were normally what they should be weren't.
Yeah.
So I was using a lot of like the bumpers. And so that was weird.
That does feel weird, right? For some of the things, because you're like, this doesn't seem like a bumper function. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the bumper was like select.
Because like if you look at the manual for the game, it also just didn't make sense to have 3 buttons for this game. Like it could have very easily been 2, because you had one button that was select for when you're at your castle, and then you had your cancel button, and then when you're on the world map, you had the cancel button was still your cancel button, but then the 3rd button was the select then. So it's like
that's what it was. Yeah,
it's like why did you not just have select and cancel?
And then some of the buttons would pull up like your actual stats of like each character, and I kept going into that on accident.
You know what the button thing kind of reminded me of? Weirdly, it reminded me of Broken Sword. We had the button was like, check this out, button. Check this out and do something. This button.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
It's kind of odd. I don't know why they did. Maybe there's a reason that I'm not seeing. That being said, I love the 6-button front. I am so annoyed that they went back from that. If for no other reason, doesn't have to be for the games like this, but Street Fighter, god damn it. I do not want my fierce punch and kick to be on my shoulders. No. Light punch, medium punch, heavy punch. Light kick, medium kick, heavy kick. That needs to be the standard again. 6 buttons. Keep our 2 triggers. This 4-button nonsense. Not into it. But it especially is a problem for emulating.
Yeah.
There's just not. You can get 6-button controllers for your computer, or there are a few 6-button faced emulation devices, but that is far from the norm, because only, as far as I know, only the Saturn and the Genesis games that use a 6-button controller had that layout. So when you play those on something else, it doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, I think another thing to note with this game is that it does something that I feel like not a lot of games do it, but there's definitely a type of game, and it seems like it's a lot of times it's more like history style games. It's one of those games that it tries to make some of standard things crammed into the theme. Saving being an example. Most games, it will say save somewhere, and so that's how you save your game. This game, it had archives.
Right.
And so, like, I know you ran into a problem with being able to save your game.
Yeah.
And I also ran into that. Like, I ended up starting this game, like, 4 or 5 times because I didn't know how to save. Then I was having frustrations with the game. And then, like, I finally watched a walkthrough. Like, okay, I kind of get it. Play it. Still was struggling with it. And so restarted again, and then finally on the last one, I got through the first castle and started getting more into it. But yeah, like, it's just, this is very much a game that's extremely difficult to just pick up and play and start playing it. And
yeah, okay, it's been a while, so I'm not going to remember a lot of specifics. When I first played this game, back when it actually came out on the Saturn, I started with Highland. And I don't remember where I got caught up, but I had no goddamn idea what to do. And I'd read the instructions. I was a good instruction reading boy. But I was like, what? Like, there's so many things. I don't know what to do. And so I put the game away for, like, a while. I don't know, a few months maybe. And I got a strategy guide, and I kind of looked over that too. And then I went back into it. And when I finally pushed through, it was fine once I got a grip to it. But it is hard to jump into this game. Like, if you're going to play this game, you have to go in with the knowledge that the learning curve is pretty steep. If you can get over that, it's going to be, I think, it's going to be okay. But you got to get over that, and it's not going to be easy. You're going to be struggling for a bit to understand. I don't think I ever, even when I played through initially, understood what every single command in, like, the battle menu meant. Like, the rest of it I got, I think. But, like, there's so many things, and I'm just like, I'm going to stick to the ones that I know.
30 different options, if you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm not saying that I ever mastered it, but I got to the point where, like, I could do well, and I knew what I was doing, and I knew what I was trying to do, and I felt I had a sense of what I could and could not accomplish. So you can get there, but you kind of have to put in the work. This is not a game that holds your hand at all. You're just tossed in.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I think if you're into those type of things, this game probably has so much depth and replayability because, try all the different kingdoms and whatnot. And, like, I think you said you unlock a few more kingdoms. But if you get into a game and you can't even beat the first, I guess what you could call a level of the game, that's rough.
yeah.
And I don't know, like, I don't foresee myself trying it again. It just wasn't my style. But I think that this is definitely a game for somebody out there that likes this kind of thing. But I mean, when I first looked up Dragon Force, it came up on Google as a metal band.
We're covering the metal band this week.
And I don't think that there's a sequel to this game, which probably says a lot.
I'll get to
There
that.
was.
Oh, there was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but not here.
Gotcha.
Say in Japan.
So, I mean, it still says something.
Yeah.
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 Well, I was going to say, like, I know this is actually regarded as one of the best Sega Saturn games, or at least the strategy games. I'm in the same ballpark as you. I did not enjoy this game. I would like to point out that you, like, there's something with you in something Force games. You picked D-Force, Dragon Force.
I know. I'm gonna Google see if there's any others that I could possibly cover.
And she has some papers for you.
Yeah, I keep making you do these games. It would be fine if you liked them, but you do not seem to. So
No,
it is what
not
it is.
at all.
We tried.
I think for me, it's like, I don't mind a tough. There's games I've played that are very tough games that I really enjoy. Like, I know a lot of people find that, like, the Aladdin game on the Super Nintendo a very difficult game. It's one of my favorites. So there are games out there that are really tough that I do like. Where I get frustrated with games and where it dramatically makes me not like the game is when the game is so tough and I feel like I'm not learning how to get better at the game.
Well, so you mentioned Aladdin being a tough game, and it is, but it's tough for a totally different reason. Yeah. Anybody can pick it up and probably beat the first level because it's a platformer, right? But you pick up this game, and you have to, like, you sent over the instructions in chat, and I was like, oh my god, there's so much things going on. I skimmed them, but obviously did not do that good of a job because you open it up, you're on a map, and you can go to some bigger map that I never figured out why, but...
You see the overview of who does what.
Yeah, and then you go into a menu, and each menu has a menu of menus, and... sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, you're fine. It's just, that's part of the frustration, is that, like, it's such an overwhelming game to not have some sort of tutorial. And that was a thing back then. Like, because it's like, I was so frustrated with this game, and, like, I'm like, okay, it's, like, considered one of the top Sega games. How frustrated I was with this game, I'm like, no wonder Sega, like, went down, because this game is stupid. I was getting so mad. So...
You deserve to end.
I'm like, no wonder they failed.
You know, like pick Fiona's Sonic plushie over the wall. Get the crap out of here. Oh, God. I mean, yeah.
But because of that...
I didn't wish any death upon lineages or anything.
Because I was so frustrated, and I'm like, okay, this is considered a great Saturn strategy game, and it's so frustrating. Like, I'm like, okay, what are other strategy games of this time on different systems so that I can see, because I didn't really play that many strategy games back then. So I'm like, okay, one of the first ones that came to mind was Final Fantasy Tactics on the PlayStation, which is one that I actually did play. I'm like, I don't remember that game being nearly as frustrating. So I'm like, maybe I'm just not remembering correctly. So I played a little bit of that. And I know tactics and strategy real-time strategy is a little different, but kind of in the same ballpark. So way different. Like, I'm like, if I could go back in time, I would tell everybody, wait a year and play this game instead. You know, so I was like, okay, tactics and real-time strategy, slightly different. Let me try a different real-time strategy game that's kind of was around this time. So I did kind of a quick search. I found Ogre Battle, and Dragon Force came out in between the Ogre Battle for the Super Nintendo and the N64. So I tried both of them out and got through to the first battle to be able to compare. There's one or two, like, one of them I still lost the first battle, but I at least understood what I was doing and was able to really quickly do the battle again and figure out what I did wrong. I felt like that wasn't the case with Dragon Force. And they also had some more explanations of what you were supposed to do, and it wasn't, you know, you basically had 5 options instead of 20, and so it, like, I know there's people that are gonna really like how in-depth this game was, but it was so overwhelming that it was more frustration than it was enjoyable.
Yeah, I feel like even if you read the instructions and had, like, a strategy guide, well, if you had a strategy guide, then it would probably tell you what to do, but, like, even reading the instructions, the fact that there's, like, 5 formations and then, like, 5 or 6 different things that you can do from those formations, and then there were formations that were unique to the general that you had. Like, my goodness.
So you mentioned that, you know, this game is for someone out there, and that person is me. I don't just like this game. Like, I freaking adore this game. I have not made out a list, but it wouldn't shock me if this is in my top 10 games of all time. Here's what I think is funny, though. This is what's funny. I remember back, I played Ogre Battle. I played on the PlayStation, but it was basically the same. It was almost a straight port, right? And I remember when it came up where I could pick that. The reason why I put it on there is like, I remember playing this and having no idea what the hell to do, and not figuring it out. So I had trouble with that one. And Final Fantasy Tactics, I understood what to do, but I remember early hitting this wall where I'm like, I can't win, and I don't know how to get better. And because I'd already put some time in that, I don't know how much, it frustrated me more than this, where it's like, okay, I smacked up against that first general you had to fight, earlier, Lane. I smacked up against her, and I having trouble right away, but there must be a way. And I hadn't put enough time in it where I felt like, okay, well, I didn't feel like I'd wasted any time because I hadn't been in the game that long, and so now I hit this tough thing right away. but there has to be a way past it, and I don't feel that frustrated because I haven't been going, and then just smacked into a wall. So it didn't bother me that much, weirdly, and I understand that is strange. I'm not saying that's normal. For me, I love the depth of this game. I don't mind that I may not ever understand every command, because I like to experiment with them, and I'm also okay with just finding the things that work for me and sticking with those, and I think you can probably do that for the most part and be okay. I like the charm of this game. The characters are fun and funny a lot of the times. There are generals that I love, and I don't even, not even because how they do on the battlefield, although that's fine, but Lane and Rutger, I love those two. Rutger is such like what's the dude's name from Tangled?
Flynn Rider.
Flynn Rider. He's such like a Flynn Rider type character. And then Lane, okay, I need to talk about the wisdom of Tiras for a second, because when she beats Lane, she's like, oh, I know you wanted to be queen, but I'll tell you what, when this whole war is over, Lane, you can be queen. And Lane is like she calls herself a dominatrix all the time and is clearly really power hungry. Like, do you understand what you're unleashing on the world, Tiras? She's psychotic, but love her because she's hilarious. She's like, yeah, I will punish you, like, brilliant. And Rutger is just so, anyway, there's a lot of the generals that, like, even though there's a ton now, I feel like I'm getting a sense of their personalities, and I like them, and they're just fun for me. I'm like, oh, I gotta make sure I do this because this person, it's really important to him that he does so-and-so. So I gotta make sure I work that in, which is insane for the amount of characters that have gotten thrown at me this quick to me. And with the small amount of interaction or story beats you actually have with these characters. I like that the fights are interactive. I like seeing all those characters go on the battlefield and smash each other apart. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. But when we've done board game reviews on the All Games New and Old channel, there we actually give things a score, right, from 1 to 10, and a lot of people say you should never give a perfect 10 because nothing is perfect. And our take was always like, yes, but if the flaws are so overshadowed by the good that those flaws do not even matter, that's still a perfect 10. And while I recognize the flaws in this game, there are definitely some, and it is definitely not for everybody, and I wouldn't say it is. I understand why this was critically received back then, and I still absolutely adore it today. This is 10 in my book. I will play this anytime happily. I love that I can kind of jump in, play a week, jump out, play something else, then go back in later if I want to, or I can sit there and marathon it. I adore it. I adore this game. So, again, that's going to be the retro...
Saturn. Nintendo.
Taste? Okay. None.
No. So, another issue that I had with this game, and we talked about this,
yes,
is graphics.
Oh, this is funny, though. This is funny.
So, it bothers me, like, overall the graphics are good for the time of this game. Where the issue that I had, that it popped in, like, I noticed it right away, and it bothered me, and when I pointed it out to you...
I don't know if I ever noticed it back then, but I certainly didn't remember, and I hadn't noticed it yet this time, so...
So, on most games where, like, they have, like, the main talking points, and then they'll have, like, a graphic of the character talking and pop up. Most games, the background image is a little bit fuzzier, and the image that pops up is a lot clearer. It's the opposite in this game, and the colors are different. Your Tiras character, she has dark purple, like, or not dark purple, but it's like a dark violet lavender color hair in the main thing. When it pops up, it is like a super, super pale, like almost blue, like almost a pale blue, like very, very different colorations and hair colors, and the characters look so different. I wasn't sure it was the same character.
I think it's weird that I did not. That didn't occur. I think I just saw the name and it just snapped into my head. Yes, this is the same, even though like it wasn't. I was trying to figure out why this happened. Like more, like kind of the hair color, but also like the difference in image clarity. Yeah. I guess, and like the thought was that maybe the art assets were done by different groups, and rather than like I guess making sure they're all the same. I don't know how this goes. Okay, when you're making a game, I don't know how they do that. But they're like, yep, they send us the portraits. Yep, they send us the video, not video, but stills of the big pictures. Pop them in the game, and they didn't go to check to make sure the colors were all actually equal. which is weird. Very weird. It didn't bother. I think it's funny now. It doesn't actually bother me, but it's like, yeah. But I like the other graphics, so.
Yeah, I think the only positives that I would say is I did like the witty banter story type thing that I did get. And the second thing is it really made me want to download Heroes of Might and Magic 3, which is not a real-time strategy, but it is very much a strategy where you're going from... You're in kingdoms, you're building up your troops, you're building up your armies, and you're going attacking other castles and stuff like that. And so I'm probably going to download that game so I can play a good game.
So this game made you want to play that, and it made you want to play the ogre battles. So what you're saying is that what this does is it gets people to play more games because it provides them a love of gaming that they
we're
just
saying
can't
we
find
want to find
anywhere else.
something better out there.
Escape.
Yeah. Well, me and virtually all the critics of the day, as well as fans worldwide, and still love this game. I think it's fantastic. Anyway, that's going to be Retro Station Good Taste Gamers again, and we'll talk about how great this is and how good Zelda is. It's going to be fantastic. I'm going to do that in Discord too, so if you want to come and talk about, correct opinions, we could do
You said there was a sequel?
I'm just kidding, you guys. Yeah, it didn't come out in the US. It just came out in Japan. I was trying to remember what it said about it.
Not good enough for other countries.
No, Saturn was just dead here.
Was a sequel for Saturn?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They got way more games for Saturn in Japan than we ever got here. Like, way more. But I guess it didn't feel different enough. It felt more like an expansion than a whole new game. So,
interesting.
There is a fan translation of it, though, so you can play it if you like. So, yeah, I was nervous about this one, guys, because I knew you didn't like it, Hilary, because I live with you. I can't avoid that. And then I was like, I don't think Steve's going to either, because he seems confused. And I'm like, I'm in love again. So, but that's how it is. I mean, I always like, in all seriousness, I always say that, your favorite game is someone's least favorite game and vice versa. It's just kind of how it goes. There is no way I can honestly look at this and say, this is a game that everyone will love. No, the people who will love it, and the other people will not.
I think we should probably point out, because of the difficulty to grasp this game, there is no Kids Corner this week.
Yeah. He actually was institutionalized. It's unfortunate. This is a lot to explain to. I was having trouble with it when I was like 20 or whatever age I was, so I can't imagine. Poor Vinny, his head would probably explode. If you're watching this on YouTube, you might have noticed that we just changed our clothes. If you're not, then no, we didn't. So don't worry about it. I will be changing again before the episode's over. So I wanted to talk about how much Dragon Force is going to cost you if you wanted to add this into your collection. Now, if you've looked into collecting Saturn games before, you know that any game that's considered remotely good tends to be really expensive because there weren't that many Saturns out there. And so everything is just kind of more rare than things on other systems are. It's just kind of how it is. So if you would like Dragon Force, just the disc, it would be $115. If you want it complete, in box, with instructions, all that stuff, $270. And if you want it brand spanking new, $372. Whew. It's a lot of cash. Not surprising for any kind of RPG-ish thing on the Saturn. All of them.
You said it was $100 for just the CD?
$115 for just CD.
$115.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it might be a little too much for me.
If this episode has taught you anything, it's that this game is definitely not for everyone. The people who do like it will probably love it. That's me. And other people might not. I was surprised you didn't, just because you like strategy games a lot, but it is different than most others. Hilary, you married me, so your taste in things is pretty suspect, so I'm not too shocked there. But no, I'm kidding. But no, it isn't. So look, if I knew what I knew about this game, and I had $270 to blow, and I did it, I'd probably be okay with it. But you out there, if you haven't played it, should emulate this first and try it. If you really have to have a physical copy or you want to have physical copies in your collection, try it first and make sure it's a thing for you.
I agree. Definitely try before you buy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because again, you might absolutely love it, or you might be like, well, what's with all the menus? So you got to figure out which camp you're in, I think. But yeah, other than that's pretty much the price of it. I didn't see any Jaws drop, so that's surprising.
I mean, the price of games, it's a little higher than the price of a new game today, So it's not too surprising.
Yeah, I mean, it's a retro Saturn game, so, you're kind of expecting a higher price point, so.
Yeah, and in fairness, it's far from the most expensive one, although still very expensive. All right, guys, so are we done with this game?
Never been so excited to play a sports game.
Yeah. So this has really begun to drag on a bit, and I won't force you guys to talk about it anymore.
Force.
Drag on.
Force to drag on.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, I'm a regular Rudger, I guess you could say. All right, so the next game that we're going to play, as picked last time, is going to be a Dreamcast Sega sports game. Maybe not published by Sega, definitely not Working Designs, so we'll see what we have here. So let's talk about the choices that we brought to the table. Hilary, do you want to go first?
Sure.
All right.
So my first one is actually kind of my bad, or I'm not sure about this pick, and that's going to be Cosmic Smash. Graphic-wise, it actually looks like a game that should be on the Virtual Boy.
Looks real weird.
I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
It's not red, though.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Well, some of what the videos.
Oh, was there some? Oh,
yeah.
Never mind.
So.
But it's not only red.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. Like, it seems weird.
It does. I don't even know how to explain it.
My next one is a golf game called Tee Off. And then my last pick is Virtual Tennis.
Very nice. Okay. Steve, do you want me to go, or do you
I
want to
can go.
Okay, go ahead.
So my first pick was NFL Blitz 2000. I played so much NFL Blitz for the regular PlayStation. I can't, and arcade, and I can't imagine this not being the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Amazing, no rules football. You can tackle the guy while the ball's still in the air. There's so much craziness to this game. I'm very excited if that gets picked, because I feel like a lot of us picked like not normal sports games. Like, no, I don't think there's any Madden.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, she has virtual tennis. That's pretty straightforward.
Is that like? Well, I don't know tennis. I don't keep up with the tennis games.
Yeah. There's lots of love.
But there's no like MLB baseball. No,
No.
NHL hockey.
Well, some of that was at least some of those weren't available for the system.
They had their own like
Yeah,
2K
they're
or whatever.
and they were actually good. I don't guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I heard they were good.
Ready to Rumble. I remember that game. I'm not sure if I ever played it, but I remember hearing some decent things about it.
Yeah.
It's a boxing game, decent graphics for the time.
Yeah, it's one of the few Dreamcast launch games I didn't get just because I got Soul Calibur and like a liar to have people fighting, so I'll just do that one. But it looked good.
And then my iffy one, I went weird with it. ESPN International Track and Field.
Nice.
I feel like all the track and field games that I played, sorry Hillary, are very button mashy.
Yeah.
Why do you hate my wife?
And like you have to like button mash into a certain point, and then you throw the javelin,
Yeah.
or you run the race, or you do all this stuff, and it can't be good.
I have no idea how that plays at all. I don't. If I even saw a review of that, I guarantee I didn't read it because I'm like, nope, that's not for me. So I have no idea. Maybe it's great. I couldn't
could
tell
be.
you, dude. Was that it? Did you do all yours?
Yeah, 3.
Okay.
NFL Blitz, Ready to Rumble, Track and Field.
So wow, what was that? My Hawks. My picks were Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. It also had one on the system. Could have picked that. I picked 2. There you go. It's good. It's Tony Hawk. Most of you played it. It's Tony Hawk, and it's good.
Superman by Goldfinger. That was on the first one,
I don't know.
I think.
The last time I played it was like the combination Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 where it had like all the tracks. So I don't even know what came from what. So
Gotcha.
I also picked Sega Rally 2, or it might be called Sega Rally 2 Championship. I don't think I played Sega Rally 2. I played the first one on Dreamcast. It's a very arcadey rally game, but it's tons of fun. Mudslings everywhere. You're in a car. It's good. It's fun. My one that I'm iffy on, which actually is the game that I played the most of these, actually,
Interesting.
is Trick Style. This is a hoverboard racing game. And the reason why it's my iffy one, I didn't exactly dislike it, but I remember it being, I thought it was absurdly hard. That being said, whenever people talk about it since, people have not said that. So maybe I just suck. I don't know, but it looks really cool. It's got some neat stuff to it. I think maybe I was missing something back in the day, and I just was not doing something to make myself good at it. I'm not sure, but we're gonna see if we end up getting that. That's my iffy one.
Do we need to vote, or should we just randomize from David's picks?
Wow. Any one of us are welcome to do the randomization if you like. I don't care. As a matter of fact, Steve, I was going to vote, and I will, because I am a generous person who is willing to forgive. I was going to pick NFL Blitz as my vote because you haven't had a vote in a while. I'm like, that would be cool anyway. Well, I'm putting NFL Blitz. God damn it. Unbelievable. Listen,
Which is funny because I'm going to vote for Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
I have to do a lot of editing. It's hard for me to do the research to do the intros to these games because it takes me like 8 hours to edit one of these things. Do you understand?
Which is why you pick your own that you already know about.
I'm okay. Everything's fine.
I picked Tony Hawk Pro Skater too.
Perfect.
I love the Tony Hawk games. Yeah. I played them for the better system, PlayStation.
Yeah. I love them too. I suck. I'm not good at all, but I still enjoy them, which is great. That's a good sign. When you know you're not good, but you're still like, this is still a blast.
Right, and like I'm not a skateboarder, but they were just fun.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, Hilary, what are you picking?
I'm going to also vote for NFL Blitz.
Wow. Okay.
I think that has a little bit. I mean, I know Tony Hawk has name recognition, but I think that might have a little bit higher name recognition. So give that a try. Also, listening to the last podcast, they were talking about Aaron Hernandez right now, so I'm listening to a lot of football talk.
Were they talking about football, or were they talking about the other thing he's famous for?
The first episode, they went to all his football past, so.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Or the third thing he was famous.
Sadly, he's not playable. We checked. I wasn't there that year. I don't know. I almost cannot name a single current NFL player.
Did they use real NFL players in NFL Blitz?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I didn't pay attention. I was just...
Okay.
But that would have been my second pick, but Tony Hawk just seems fun.
Yeah.
And the soundtracks.
I actually want to play Tony Hawk more, but...
Yeah, the soundtracks are really good.
The soundtrack's amazing on time. They did. So even the songs that I wouldn't usually like listen to on their own, I'm like, this is great to skate to.
Well, Goldfinger is one of my favorite bands.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. Perfect. All right, cool. So, does one of you want to shake this thing? Go for it. Please do. I'll show you where I have the list here when I get the number. Because it's not in the same order we talked. 7. Now I'm like, please don't let this be me. And I think it is.
It's going to be trick style.
No, actually it might not. It might be. No, I don't know. Okay. Number 7. God damn it. I let him randomize it. I did my best. For the next episode, we're going to be playing a game that was designed by WoW Entertainment and Sega and published in 1999. In this game, the roar of the engine and the crunch of gravel set the stage in this fast, arcade-born rally racer with a global circuit, Sega Rally 2.
Now, I'm curious, this game, because there was a game that I used to play. Mm-hmm. Is it, because when you said mudslinging and stuff before, your rally cars?
Yeah.
There was an arcade game that I loved at Godfather's Pizza. That was
might be it. Because it was big. It was big in the arcade, the Sega Rally games. So
yeah,
could be. I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
You know, so I love racing games.
I still think racing games are always fun.
Yeah. I mean, it can't be as complicated as.
Yeah, well, actually, so for every time you turn or you want to accelerate and hit the brakes, you have to open a menu, okay? And it's going to ask, like, light touch, medium touch, heavy touch. Do you want to cuss while you do it? There's really a lot that goes into every single movement. It's more of a strategy rally racing game when you think about it.
Honestly, there's some, like, board game racing games.
Yeah, there are. Fun. Yeah, I don't know if I played too many, but yeah. Okay, so usually at this point, we would figure out what kind of games we're bringing for the next episode, but we're going to be having a special episode after we do the Sega Rally 2 episode. So we'll talk about that a little bit more next week. So, my goodness, this has been quite a long haul. I was really happy this week. Thank you guys for putting up with a game that you were not happy with. I'm sorry it didn't work for you, but at some point you will punish me if my picks ever don't get picked. It's not my fault that the fates like me better. Anyway.
Thank you for joining us, David's Retro Station podcast.
Yeah. Where I make my friends play everything I like. And if they don't like it, that's too bad. All right, guys. Please join our Facebook group. We also have a Discord channel, which all these links are in the description. We're on Instagram. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but maybe I'm not. I don't know. Either way, give us a review on whatever you're listening to this on. Whatever the equivalent of 5 stars would be great. If you hate us, 5 stars means so much more then. So do that. That's fantastic. And make sure you tell your friends if you do enjoy us. And
Smash that like button, hit the bell icon.
so if you want to... Okay, so if you want us to stop now, so open your menu screen. Okay, first off... No, okay. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
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 David said that if I made the following statement, he wouldn't delete me. So here goes. David does not rig the randomizer ever. Really? Would I lie to you?